Hello and welcome to the Computer Game Show. My name's David Turner. I'm here with Sean Bell.
Oi, oi.
James Farley.
Hello.
And Matt Murray.
What is happening?
Need to start the show by clearing a few things up, to be quite honest with you.
Yeah,
it's
like
been
your
an interesting...
trousers, yeah?
Okay, here we go. So where do I start? Let's just start.
There's been a lot of tweets about this, Dave. It's, yeah. I'm quite interested to know what you've been up to.
Okay, well, here's what happened. Here's my side. Sean can explain his side, and then I can tell him where he's gone wrong. So here's what happened. So Monday, I wasn't 100% sure I was going to come along. But, right, Sean and his Midnight Resistance friends did a 24-hour stream for charity and made a hell of a lot of money for Refuge, the charity against domestic abuse. It was a brilliant thing to do. They did very well. They played Phantasy Star Online for 23 hours, but completed it early. So played an hour of random games. Yeah. All to be applauded. Brilliant. I said to Sean, last week, would it be awful if I came along? Should I pop along and say hello? And you went, no, come along. So I thought, fine. Wasn't 100% sure I was coming because I have a really bad shoulder at the moment. And the reason I have a really bad shoulder is that I totally done Matt Murray on a football pitch. And he got the ump and swiped my legs. That is true. And I fell on my shoulder.
Our legs clashed and you fell over and I kept the ball.
Mate, I was 2 yards in front of you.
Bollocks! We were like, you were jostling for the ball together.
With me taking the ball around you. You took
2
a swing.
yards. How can I have taken you out unless I slid on the ground? You tripped over my legs. You fell over.
It was one of them. I did not trip over your legs. I had the ball at my feet. Anyway, that would have been a straight red.
Black card.
So I was in a lot of pain, but it got to the end of Monday, and I thought, no, I'm feeling okay. I'll travel all across London to go and help my friends out. Turned up. Joe Scrabbles was there. We had a great time, really good time. Had a few beers. Had Chris ordered a pizza. We had some pizza. I said goodbyes. I got on the train home, and halfway home, I'm thinking, this pizza ain't sitting right. There is something wrong here. I didn't know what it was at the time, but it soon turns out that Harry must have had a virus because he was sick Saturday night, and basically anyone that's been in contact with that child in that weekend has been sick. So that's what that was. I get home just in time to do a massive shit in the toilet. Right? Sorry, I think this is going to get worse as we go along. I go to sleep. I wake up at 3 o'clock. I'm violently sick in the toilet for a good hour and a half. Go back to sleep. Wake up in the morning. Check the stream. And for some reason, everyone's saying I shit myself on camera.
Okay.
So what I'm going to do... Hold on. Not yet. What I'm going to do is ask Sean straight out, how did it go from that to me shitting myself on camera? What happened while I was asleep?
Nothing, Dave. Just we all basically right. So Dave was in it. I'm really glad Dave came along. We had a really good time.
Why were you glad I came along?
Because you're good company, Dave.
Because a good company. I made the stream good because it was a bit dull. We made the stream good.
Made the stream good.
And I brought in a lot of money for you guys. Helped you out. I didn't want to bring that up, but then this
shitting yourself.
Happened. What do you mean?
So there's right. If you're watching the stream, you might remember the fan incident. We lost the stream for about 5 minutes. That was covering up the fact that smells were. I mean, the room smelled pretty bad to begin with. Let's not dance around that.
Yeah, it smelled
but it started to smell a bit worse, and we realised Dave was off his face on Valium, and he was 5 pints in, and we started to twig that maybe that's what had gone on, and so we were trying to figure out what to do, and so we killed the stream for a minute. And then we made up the whole fan thing just to try. Well, we're trying to get the air moving a bit. We couldn't just ask Dave to leave because it felt a bit rude. It wasn't his fault. Not well.
Sure.
Yeah,
are we going to fuck about here, or are we going to? Are you going to stick with this?
Here? Can we read some of the tweets that we got about this?
Yes.
Yeah, so Cheddy's tweeting saying, will Dave be shitting himself again? Busker Lily, what was the biggest reason for Dave shitting himself? Illness, pizza, pints, or fear of death by fan blade? Zach Toms, how does Dave feel knowing that shitting himself led to thousands raised for charity? Co-Mutiny, why did Dave shit himself? And Athene Allen, did Dave shit himself? I mean, there were plenty more, but...
Sean, are we? I mean, are we going to be straight up here, or are you going to continue with this little joke of yours?
I'm being straight up, Dave. This is
okay. So the reason, right? So to explain, the reason why they're doing this, the reason why there's this whole David shit himself thing, is because, let's face it, the stream was shit. It was standard Midnight Resistance. Yeah, we'll do this, and then put zero effort into anything. I mean, if you watched any of it that Joe and I wasn't on, it was those two sitting there. It was those four sitting there, staring blankly at the screen, not saying much, not really treating it as a show, basically treating their listeners like shit. Anytime there was a funny comment in there, you could see them sort of sneer at it and go. Pff. So they thought, what can we do to try and get something going? So they've come up with this nonsense that is quite frankly embarrassing, because they're trying to put down and shame someone that turned their little stream into something decent and made their charity thing a lot of money, and now they think they're being cool. Well, Sean, it's not cool. It's embarrassing.
Dave,
you've proved that you can't
cool
do a live
embarrassing
stream.
Is shitting yourself in front of 45 people.
Okay, well, there's a lot of footage from that event, and also there's an audio recording. Yeah. I'd like you to prove it.
Okay.
You can't, because it's bollocks. Okay. You've made it up. There's me doing you a favour, and there's you taking the piss out of me now, isn't there?
Right.
So, I mean, you could do what you want. Yeah. Okay, you crack on, but you let yourself down there. Okay. You've let Refuge down. You've let me down.
But Dave, where did the smell come from then? What was that about?
There was 4 sweaty blokes in dirty T-shirts sitting in a hot room for 7 hours before I got there. Where do you think the smell come from?
Well, your arse, from the sound of things.
James, let's not talk about arses and smells. Now I have got evidence of that situation.
Yeah, but at least also, I didn't inflict it on other people. It was just,
Well, nor did I. I mean, you could say anything. Sean took his cock out and started wanking it off in front of everyone. So we said, the fan was broken.
It's true.
It's just ridiculous. Grow up, Sean. Grow up. It's embarrassing,
Speaking of which, can we briefly talk about the phone call to Farley?
That was good.
That was a good bit.
It was one of the best bits. Thank you, David, because that made our stream entertaining.
Yeah, that's going in the highlight reel.
I should be getting.
But yeah, the conversation, right? So obviously there's a 24-hour show, and I need to try and edit that down into something. And we were like, right, what's the list of things that we want to include? Like, what were the best bits? And Chris was like, well, all the stuff with Dave and Joe in. That's one episode.
I mean, that's the voice of everyone that was watching.
Yeah. But, phone call to Farley where we tried to blackmail him into giving money to charity or else we'd give his address out. That was good. Enjoyed that.
Still waiting for thanks.
I said thanks. I said it was good having you on.
Yeah, cheers, mate.
But you took it very well, I thought, Farley. I think that would have rattled me a bit.
Yeah,
James has known me.
I noticed I don't get any thanks. I was the one that was,
James. How long have you known me now?
Long enough to...
How many times have I ever called you legitimately?
Not that many times, actually. It's mostly...
I was on the fucking piss take.
As soon as I see on my phone it says David Turner's, I'm just like, it's past 10 in the evening. He's definitely been drinking. Like, what's this going to be about this time? And it's like, yeah...
Do you know the even funnier thing is that my dad rang me up the next day because we called my dad afterwards on the stream. And my dad rang me up the next day and went, "Oh, what was that all about last night?" I said, you're doing this charity stream and people want to hear your voice. He went, "Oh, did I do all right? Did I say anything?" I was like, "Dad, you were fine. Don't worry about it."
Yeah, because the next morning you were like, I should probably call my dad and apologise. But I was like, I'm pretty sure he's used to this, isn't he? By now?
Nah, I haven't spoken to him for years. Right, okay, cool. So the last episode you heard was the E3, because technically this is the third of our trilogy of E3 shows, yet E3 feels like a year ago.
Yeah, I can't believe we're still discussing E3 2017. Surely this is prep for 2018 now.
Yeah, no, it's all
insane.
news,
So we've got our predictions to go through later, but first of all, we should probably do a follow up.
Yeah, I mean, the amount of follow-up this week was quite frankly ridiculous. I'm clearly not going to go through all of it, but just suffice to say thanks to everyone who tweeted and shared stuff we put out over last week. It's been awesome fun. Lewis Belfort tweeted in saying, are there any websites Farley didn't visit during E3? I mean, he visited all the main ones.
It's all the video gaming ones I didn't visit.
All the video gaming. Actually, last week when you said, you went on Reddit and you went on UK politics, The Evil Within 2 was actually leaked on Reddit because there's a Reddit advert that went live early. See, there's every chance you saw that, but whatever.
No, that's the other thing, isn't it? These things totally have adverts all over them.
They don't. How could you even risk that? Do you want me to show you what the mobile app looks like? It's like there's nothing like that on there.
Are you going to do that, James?
I'll send you a screenshot. It's
I was going to say where you were then, but we all know that's a hot topic. Don't send me a screenshot. I don't want that shit.
No, don't. John Denton tweeting, of course. Dave says he wouldn't cry if Shigsy name checks him. Dave, you cried when you stood near Millwall's substitute left back.
I mean, that's another lie. I was close to crying though, because well, no, not our left back. I'm not a massive fan. I was quite happy when we signed a new left back. So picked the wrong avenue there, John. Next,
Adam Turner, Best E3 podcast. F-Zero even tricked me, and I've watched a Nintendo show. I was double guessing myself. I mean, we did have loads of awesome, really nice tweets saying about how much I enjoyed the last show. So I'm happy for that.
There was also a lot of tweets and messages in the Discord chat and on various different places saying that they were surprised by how little they remembered from the show and were constantly questioning if what we were saying was lies throughout the whole thing. There was even one today, I think, in Discord that just turned around and said, right, can we just confirm that there was only 2 lies throughout the whole thing? Because I'm still not sure. Yeah. So we did all right.
Even the listeners weren't sure. I mean, obviously, we had a lot of good tweets. We had some bad tweets. We had some surprising tweets. This other one here comes in. This is a person who was complaining about most of the other E3 podcasts, saying the only one that is good, and it pains me to say this, is actually Computer Game Pod, because they treat E3 as a means to a serious wind-up. That's from Andy Hamilton. So, yeah that's weird.
And he did an E3 podcast. So
yeah. There's another one here. Again, it's just more moaning tweets, and then they go on to say, "But I am also found trying something new when it comes to format. So give Computer Game Pod's E3 show a listen." That is from it's from Chris Ban CS87. 2 people there said the Bantercast was dead, but that is
2
fine.
people who I do another show with who also did an E3 episode. Thanks, guys.
Yeah.
Fucking hell.
They absolutely mugged you off there.
Did. Big time.
Going back to the stream thing a minute, because there was one thing that I forgot to mention. Matt, I noticed you put out that little statement yesterday on...
I made my own letterhead.
For starters, not everything has to be a meme. You know what I mean? Like, I know you love the internet.
Meme over last week.
Let's try and make this a meme. Secondly, I mean, I don't know where you've got the front to put something like that out.
Just thought it'd be funny. Go on. What's your beef?
What do you mean? What's my beef?
Okay, go on.
For starters, the statement said that we weren't recording last night because of me when it was because of you.
Well,
you were the first one to go, can we cancel tonight, please? Can we cancel it? So don't turn around and go, that David won't let us record tonight because
I didn't say that. It was just implied.
Matt,
I didn't name
Matt was
you.
the reason this episode's late. Matt is the reason why your Twitter timeline is constantly bombarded with meme attempts. I mean, he wants things to go viral, but the moment things go viral, what?
More than life itself. In fact,
I know, but it's embarrassing. It gets to the point where it's embarrassing. I mean, you've seen like the Xbox UK Twitter account, right, and stuff like that, and you're just like, oh, okay, all right.
I haven't actually.
You want this to be retweeted?
Source of meme content. Actually, I mean, over last week, obviously, I was eager for people to listen to the E3 show and the F-Zero video that's also on a YouTube channel, and I might have taken it a bit far because I've now. I mean, I wouldn't addicted is the wrong way to put it, but I have been, let's say, putting some money into paid social advertising. Got small,
I guarantee
small
that
bill
won't
to
get
pay
us
Facebook and Twitter. But
that will not get us one new listener. I can almost get the biggest waste of money.
It's
Yeah,
a
but
funny thing, right? Because when we first started putting noise out about the live stream, I thought, do you know what? Sod it. I'll pay up for some Facebook advertising, and it did it doubled the number of people that it reached. Didn't get a single fucking donation out of them though.
Nah.
You sort of think more people saw it, but just none of them cared, I guess.
But it's about getting the brand out there, sure. And you've got the brand out there.
That's true.
Before
got it out there before I kill it off. Yeah.
Great time to start that stuff. Yeah, I put some money into paid advertising, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. I mean, I'm interested in that, but I should probably take the card away from me now because it's just quite addictive to put money and see numbers go up. It's like Owen playing Destiny.
And if you're on Twitter or Facebook and you see an advert and you think, oh, those pricks sold out. No, it was just Matt. This is what he's like. He's embarrassing the show, to be honest with you. He's going to pay for a
F-Zero
billboard
trailer got
next.
4,500 views. I think I did all right there.
The F-Zero trailer?
Yeah.
Well, the clip that I put together. Yeah, no, it did do very well, that video.
From the trailer that I
did.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, Sean, I have got absolutely zero negative things to say about you in that trailer. You did that perfectly. I'm very happy for that.
Yeah.
What I don't like is that you're a fucking liar. Right, okay, should we carry on?
That's very much it for follow-up. I mean, we had loads more, but I'm not going to go into it. Thanks everyone who tweeted over last week. If you want to tweet, it says @ComputerGamePod on Twitter or thecomputergameshow@gmail.com. That's about it.
Keep those tweets coming in. Now, I'm interested to find out what James thought of E3. I mean, I assume you've caught up on it all, James.
Yeah, I've watched everything. Well, I wouldn't say I've watched everything. I've watched all the main conferences.
Did you watch Devolver?
No, what is that? What are you talking about?
I watched it. It was not as good as Matt's making out.
It's an indie publisher. They publish like Hotline Miami and loads of other stuff.
Oh, okay.
It's only 15 minutes. You should watch that. Whatever you haven't done.
It's funny enough. It's a 5-minute joke dragged out for 15 minutes. I'll tell you that. But I mean, it was alright. I liked it, but I was expecting more. I think. Anyway, James.
Well,
from what let's start with this. What did you think of it? Go through like the main three and what you thought of their shows.
Okay.
Their conferences.
Well, Microsoft's I thought was the best. I enjoyed that one more than the others, I think, actually.
More than Nintendo?
Yeah, I'll come to that, because...
Oh, God. Oh, God.
No, but I thought the Microsoft conference was pretty good. I mean, I enjoyed it. I mean, I liked it mostly because there was no Gears or Halo in it. It was if there was no Forza, I'd have been really happy.
You liked it because of that reason?
Yeah.
Imagine that.
I hate fucking big games.
No, it was good to see that there was some new stuff, some different things. But can somebody explain to me what exactly is a launch exclusive?
Console launch exclusive. It's a timed exclusive, right?
Timed, I think, yeah.
It's a timed exclusive, yeah.
Okay, so because everything was a launch exclusive. And
yeah, but isn't that, like, people are dissing that phrase, but isn't that clearer than what they were doing when Rise of the Tomb Raider come out?
No, because timed exclusive, you know what's happening, but console launch exclusive could be it's just launching like first on Xbox and PS4 a week later, or it's only launching on Xbox.
Yeah, but
I don't know.
Hold on, that's the same with timed exclusive.
Yeah, but just the fact they gave like a new name, it just felt confusing.
But I guess it's because of all the shit they got when they said launch exclusive, and then the exclusive was for Xbox One and PC, and people were going, well, it's not an exclusive then, is it? Well, if they called it console launch exclusive, so surely that's as clear cut as you can be.
Yeah, but then PUBG is console launch exclusive, but it's obviously clearly also out on PC. Who knows?
What?
Battlegrounds.
Yeah,
that's console launch exclusive, but it's not exclusive to the console. I'm sorry, it's also on PC.
Well, it is exclusive to the console.
What are you saying, Matt? It's a time exclusive, right? I mean, that's not exclusive forever.
Oh, do you know, I wish I'd never asked this question.
So can I just say, right, I'm still catching up on sleep and that, right? So I'm lost.
Let's move on.
Matt's having a fucking breakdown. Matt, it's a console.
Actually,
it's a console launch exclusive. It exclusively launches on that console. That's as clear cut as it can be for me. I think that's a better term than timed exclusive if it's also coming out at the same time on another machine, like the PC, for example.
I guess I didn't like it. Anyway,
where's the confusion?
I don't like it. James, move on.
So, I mean, Because the thing is overall for all of these conferences, though, this wasn't as bad as you kind of led to me to believe.
No, we didn't say bad. We said it was fine.
No, but you made it sound really negative and like really terrible, and it wasn't that bad. I mean, I pick out a couple of things from Microsoft One that I liked. State of Decay 2 interested me, and I didn't think it was going to. As soon as like the trailer started up, I was a bit bored because I just thought, it's another zombie shooter or whatever. But playing it with the group, it kind of reminded me a bit of Left 4 Dead.
Did you not play the first one?
No, did you not play the first? It's nothing like Left 4 Dead.
Is it not?
No.
It's much more a sim, but I liked it. But it's just
it was a single player, the first one, wasn't it?
It was.
Yeah,
Well, it had this really weird story. The whole development of it was like, basically, it was supposed to be an MMO.
Yeah.
And then they just ran out of money and just sort of spat it out as a single player game. But it was actually, everyone was like, this is still pretty fucking good. But imagine if it was online. But have we confirmed if the new one is or not?
I haven't heard anything.
No, I'm not sure.
It doesn't need to be an MMO, but please just let me co-op it with my mates, because that would be amazing.
That's what I thought it was. I thought it was going to be like a co-op kind of thing.
I'm pretty sure it is. I just heard someone saying, "Oh no, it's still single player," which would be a huge shame. And they definitely, the first one sold well enough, so surely they've got the money now. But I don't know.
But also the studio was bought by Microsoft, so.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they're fine for money.
Definitely not short of cash.
Surely they would have announced that, like in the trailer. Surely that would have been one of the big things to.
It would have made it more obvious.
How far away is it from coming out?
No idea.
Father, 2018.
Okay, cool. Right.
So is that? I mean, can I go for one that just depressed me?
Yeah.
I talked about this before, but that Super Lucky's Tale, it really depressed me. That did. First of all, it looked really, really dated. But then also, nobody's going to buy it because it's on Xbox, so no one's going to buy that. And also, why didn't they use like Conquer or Banjo or something like that?
When I first saw that, I thought it was Conqueror. I was like, oh my god,
they don't own that game, do they?
They do. They own Rare, and Rare is,
that's not a Rare game, is it?
Yeah,
is that a Rare game?
Yeah. No,
I thought it was out on
Super Lucky's Tale. Super Lucky's Tale isn't. But what I mean is, wait a minute.
What the fuck are you talking?
I don't know. No, because I thought this was okay. So it is out on other platforms as well. Then it's not just an Xbox exclusive, or is it a launch exclusive?
No, it was a VR game, wasn't it?
Was it? I don't know.
Come on, guys, what's going on tonight?
I don't know. But either way, I saw this really awful like video for it as well, where they were talking to people on the show floor about it. Did anyone else see this?
No.
Because this was really embarrassing because they were talking to them. And it was the stuff they were saying, it was like they were being fed it by like a marketing team. Because they were saying stuff like, oh, the Xbox hasn't got many games like this. I'm really pleased this is coming out. And it was just really, it wasn't very good. But
right.
Bailing out of a sentence there.
Could not be bothered. State of Decay 2 is 4-player online co-op.
Okay.
All right, that's good.
Confirmed.
The other game that I liked was Sea of Thieves, which was another one I wasn't expecting to care about, but actually I thought the trailer made it look pretty good. And, the strategy and teamwork and everything. What did you think about this? Because you didn't say much.
I think, we did. We said we like the look of it, but I think both Sean and I felt that it's time to actually play it. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. It's got that feeling to it. It's like we've seen this... and it was definitely at last year's E3. Was it at the E3 before that as well?
No,
possibly.
I thought it was announced last year.
I can't remember, but we have seen a lot of it, and there's been various trailers. And don't get me wrong, it looks like it could be a hell of a lot of fun. But it's just getting to that point now where it's like, actually, we need to get hold of this a bit now, and either play it or release it, or stop. I don't know, maybe I'm being harsh there, but it just felt throughout that whole thing, I was thinking, we know what this game is. We want to see, we want to play it now.
That's the sort of game I think would really benefit from an open beta. To see how it works.
It's had closed betas, isn't it? There's a whole community building around it already, which is pretty cool. But we need to get our hands on that game.
What do you think of Skull and Bones, Farley, compared to that?
Which one was that? A Ubisoft one?
Ubisoft, yeah.
I kind of fell asleep during the Ubisoft one, which I'll come to in a minute, and it didn't look that interesting. I don't know.
No.
I just don't care.
Just quickly, took me long enough to find it. State of Decay 2 does have 4-player co-op.
I literally just said that.
Oh,
Yeah, I
Did
thought.
you? Fucking hell, sorry,
Yeah.
man.
Oh
I
my
was too
god, this
busy.
is mental.
Well, actually, I thought that Sean had just said that, and so.
Oh my god, let's stop this show. This is fucked.
I'm just surprised to hear that Sean can apologise. It seems like a.
I feel like,
I've
I've got an excuse for being like this, and Dave's not been well either. But what's James and Matt? What's your excuse? What's going on?
Console launch exclusive, isn't it? Anything else, James? Did you watch the EA one?
Let me just finish this one. So,
Oh, for fuck.
fuck off. All right, do you want me to talk about which one do you want me to go
just
to
carry
next?
on doing what you're doing.
No, fuck off. I'm going to continue.
No, you
with,
fuck off.
Which do you want me to go
mate,
to?
you could just repeat everything you just said because apparently I can't even remember any of it, so it's fine.
That's all right. Just lie your way through it. Go on.
Right, Farley, carry on with Microsoft.
So the backwards compatibility stuff with the original Xbox, I don't know, I guess it's a good thing. I'm not going to ever buy any of those games, but I do like what they're doing with that. You know, the fact that they are still like trying to support what they had and trying to build up like kind of a big library, which Sony don't seem to care that much about. So
No.
I quite like that. Then Sony, and Sony's was it's probably maybe joint worst, but it was pretty bad. I thought. I mean, Days Gone, like it just looks like it's one too many zombie apocalypse games. You know, there's another one of those. The only thing,
sorry, this is the same game, and a few moments ago said, "Oh, it's a zombie game. I'm looking forward to State of Decay."
yeah, well, that's the thing because State of Decay looked more interesting than Days Gone because I was going to make that comparison actually, but it's Days Gone. I don't know. It just looked really super generic. Like
it looks like another Uncharted game. Which,
well, not necessarily a good one, but the only thing that I thought was interesting from Sony was Detroit. That was the only thing that interested me. I didn't see anything else that was. There was nothing that I didn't know was already coming, and I mean, there was no. What else was there? Was hardly anything there. It just wasn't very.
yeah,
I mean,
the only new thing was the VR games and the Shadow of the Colossus remake. That was it.
the next one was Nintendo, which I think we're going to have differences of opinion about because you really liked it, didn't you, Dave? The
I thought it was great. Yeah, I did. I really liked it. Yeah.
See, the thing is, right, is I liked it. I thought it was good, but the only thing that they really showed that really excited me that much was Mario Odyssey. I mean, that was fantastic. It looked like amazing, but the rest of the stuff they showed, we already knew about. Like we already knew about all that stuff.
We knew about Kirby. We knew about the new Yoshi game.
Yeah,
we knew about all that, didn't we?
And
no,
obviously,
not really.
No, we didn't. Did we, Sean? We didn't know that. What is he talking about?
What?
What is this man talking? They announced a new Kirby game, new Yoshi game.
Yeah, but look at them.
They announced
they're exactly they're in the same vein as the ones that they've done like recently. It's not like they're showing off like something like a huge, big, like seismic shift kind of thing. They're just like these are coming out next year. Metroid, they showed a logo, David. You can't. There's nothing there to get excited about at all.
They announced it was coming out. Rocket League. I wouldn't say that everything they showed we knew about.
Okay, the only things we really didn't know about was Rocket League, obviously, was coming, which is, I mean, that's great. Already got it on other platforms, so I'm not really that bothered. But there was
Kirby.
Yeah, but again, Kirby,
Yoshi.
Both Kirby and Yoshi looked, they look very similar to the games that have come out recently. Like really, really super similar.
But we didn't know about them.
I know, but you're just being stupid, David. It doesn't matter whether we knew about them or not. They weren't like, it wasn't like a big deal, that they revealed those kind of stuff. There was, I mean, I liked the format of the show. It was good. But there was so much stuff that they still is unanswered. No virtual console. Where's the online play stuff? They didn't talk at all about like mobile games or whatever was going on. I really wanted them to sort of show a couple, some more things that were coming next year, maybe. To sort of build up the anticipation a bit more. But it was fine. It was a fine show. It was totally fine. It wasn't awful. It wasn't like super disappointing or anything. It's just, I don't think it was amazing. It wasn't an amazing show.
I mean, maybe it's strong to say it was amazing, but I certainly think it was the best of a bad bunch.
Yeah, competition wasn't exactly stiff, was it?
Well, exactly. I mean, I haven't come onto EA yet. I mean,
hold on. Before you get onto them, with Nintendo, it felt like they come out, they announced a few games, they showed off a game that we were all very excited to see. Which, by the way, you can't underestimate how important it is that they save the reveal of what that. I know it sounds stupid, but the reveal of what that hat does that was quite cool because I mean, for me, that was like the first time I'd seen Mario Odyssey and understood it. When we saw the first trailer, we were like, okay, this is... How tempting would it have been to reveal what that hat does in the first announcement? But they didn't. They held it off and they revealed it at E3. And again, sounds stupid, but I was sat there throughout that whole trailer, like, basically hugging Matt. Going, this game is going to be incredible.
Definitely. It's definitely going to be amazing. I mean, I've watched that trailer so many times now because Rachel keeps wanting to watch it all the time and watching all like the background stuff. It was good, but I don't know. I was still hoping for something more, like just a hint of like other stuff that were coming aside from just a logo on a background. You know, that like saying that we might be making a Metroid sometime in the future. You know, it's like
were you disappointed it wasn't Animal Crossing revealed?
Yeah, I was disappointed with. Yeah, I was disappointed there wasn't anything like related to that. There was no F-Zero. Sorry, Matt. Like, even though we thought there was.
We've still got plenty of time.
Well, the thing is that I mean, what I don't get is your argument really, because you're kind of like, they didn't reveal anything to us really. Well, what about Kirby and Yoshi? Yeah, but not that.
No, but
well,
David, they showed us games that are really similar
like
to the last ones, like really super similar. I wanted them to come out and say things like, "Look, we're working on a couple of things here. We're working on there's a new Pilot Wings coming. That'd be awesome." You know, if they were showing something like that.
I mean,
but isn't the new Pilot
and
Wings?
Then show off Pilot Wings.
Isn't that going to be like another Pilot Wings?
Well, probably they'd just show another logo, wouldn't they? So it'd be
first look.
It just sounds you're being ultra critical here.
I think isn't this just what Nintendo does? Like there's a new platform. There's another Mario Kart, another Zelda, another Yoshi, another 2D Mario, another Pilot Wings. I mean, this is what Nintendo does, but people love them for that, right? They get the new version of that old game. They haven't got a massive amount of different IP, if we're going to say that. But what they do, they keep rehashing and doing new versions, and they're always good. I thought that's what you Nintendo fans loved about it.
Yeah, but there's other things that they could maybe bring back. I don't know. Like, just move on anyway. It's like I said, I wasn't disappointed by it. Like I really wasn't. It was fine. It's just that I don't know. If like with Metroid, I'd like to have seen a bit more than just a logo. You know, it'd have been good if they'd have like shown.
What if they haven't got that to show?
Well, then why did they even bother saying that we're going to make it? It's just to say, you know,
to get people pumped.
It's just to try and keep the fanboys happy.
Okay, whatever. Isn't that the whole fucking point? Go on, carry on.
All right,
you want to get to EA, right?
All right, yeah. So, I mean, EA's was the worst of the lot. Like, I really think it was the absolute
really?
worst of the lot.
No way was that.
It was terrible, Matt.
Sony's
it was a terrible.
At least, like, the games on EA's looked.
No. Okay, but the reason that EA's one was terrible is because it was all that crappy, like, YouTube and community stuff, which I just hate. I'm too old, obviously, and it just doesn't relate to me, like, having, like, content creators and the men in blazers. What the hell was that about?
Exactly.
That was embarrassing.
Weird.
The whole show felt really embarrassing. I don't know. I didn't enjoy it.
What do you think of Jesse Williams' car crash intro to Need for Speed Payback?
were you imitating him there, or was it?
I was, yeah.
Yeah, see that kind of. I mean, obviously, it summed up the whole show. That did. I mean, I liked that bit because it kind of called out how awful that whole approach was of just like. You know, having people like this. I don't know, because I mean, Dave, you reckon there's gonna be more of this, don't you?
Yeah. No, I absolutely think there's going to be loads more of this stuff. It's the way it's going. It's the way the audience is going. It's the way that these companies will change the way they present games to appeal to that audience. It makes total sense.
I don't know what annoys you so much about it. And like, they have influences and whatnot, but they're still showing
crap,
games.
Matt. It's because they're crap. That's why. That's why.
Do you not think there's a good bit of Schadenfreude in it, though, isn't there? Just like seeing all these like famous YouTubers realise they can't actually present for shit when they're not able to edit it themselves and stuff. But yeah, no, there's going to be more of this, one way or the other.
Yeah, but just ignore that and look at the trailers. They're like, Way Out, Need for Speed looks good.
It's the connection. It's like EA. For me, it felt a bit like. Do you remember when Microsoft were launching the original Xbox, and they were trying to build all this kind of like a brand and all that kind of stuff, and they tried to get in with all that, like, you know, the trash talking and all that sort of stuff. It feels like that. It feels really forced, and it doesn't feel natural at all, like the way that they're doing this. That's why I didn't like it.
The only time where I felt it genuinely felt forced was when they showed the Darwin project on the Microsoft stage.
Yeah,
Like that was bad. But getting YouTubers and stuff on that, I mean, that's
also, I'd much rather
that's what the young
influencers-
people are into,
yeah,
James.
I'd much
That's
rather
just it now,
influencers
mate.
than Sean Layden on the PlayStation stage wearing a suit
Absolutely.
and saying
Yeah.
like,
Yeah, but at
we've
least-
done
at
amazing
least-
third-party strategic partnerships. Well, fuck off.
Yeah, but that's like straight up just like how the system works, like with that. Whereas the I don't know, the YouTube
No, but-
influence thing, it kind of like there's something, and I don't want to get into this because
EA,
it annoys
EA
me.
by doing it are connecting with the audience who love this sort of stuff, whereas Sony sent on a suit, which surely everyone in the audience like, what? Like, get someone's dad off stage, get Jesse Wellens on here.
Yeah, but there's like connecting with the audience and all that, but there's like a grey area there, isn't there? Like with the whole, this influencer stuff. You know, how connected is this to like marketing and that kind of thing? It just feels, I don't know, I just don't like it.
Yeah, I just ignore that stuff.
Well, it's very connected to marketing.
Yes.
It is marketing.
Yeah.
Like what?
But then it's being
what
made.
can
But
you
then,
do?
but then it's. Can we talk about this another day? Because I can't think.
Well, no,
how
let's
I
talk about
can
when we record
express
the
what I'm
podcast.
talking
If
about.
we record about it,
Well, we can't do another episode on E3, James. We really do need to
Next
box
week
it off
is
this
the real
week.
E3 special.
The thing is, James, right? How is this any different than when was it Kevin Butler come on for Sony a few years back?
Yeah.
Who was in all their adverts on.
Yeah, but exactly. They're adverts though. Like you know exactly what they are. Like they've been designed to like advertise. Whereas YouTube influencers, it's a different thing because they're trying to make out that they're doing this as kind of like a hobby and it's kind of like like that. But then they're also being paid by corporations as well.
Sure.
And this feels different.
Yeah, but when you see them on stage for Microsoft, you ain't thinking anything other than you're not sitting there thinking, "Wow, he wants to be there because he wants to be there." You know,
He
he's
really
there
wants
because
to
he
talk about the
wants to be
Darwin
there. You know?
project.
He
Doing that for free.
He really wants to talk about.
Exactly, that's what
need
I'm saying. It's like
for
fake
speed.
community. It's like creating like a fake community, and it's like I don't know. It just feels dirty to me. I don't like it.
I can see where you're going when you talk
I
about,
know.
YouTubers talking about a game and it's a bit ambiguous whether it's an advert or not. But for this, these guys were, these people were paid almost certainly to present these games, and it's just a presenting gig. I just ignored that, and there were some good games shown. But what did you think of A Way Out? It's called that, isn't it? A Way Out?
Yeah.
The co-op Prison Break type
Yeah,
game.
yeah,
What
yeah,
do you think of
it's
that?
fantastic.
Yeah,
James,
that
cracking.
looked good. That looked really, really interesting. I mean, I still need to play Brothers, but
Yeah,
it
absolutely.
looked
Yeah,
great.
you do.
Yeah.
Well, that's it. That's all you got to say about that. You spent half an hour talking about YouTubers, and when it gets to an actual game, that looked good.
Well, no. What else do you want me to say about it that you didn't say last week?
What do you think of Star Wars? What do you think of Battlefront 2?
Again, look good. What else do you want me to say? I mean, it's
James, you're a host of a computer game show.
The computer game show, mate. The computer game show.
Yeah, the computer game show.
I like the X-wings. The X-wings looked
It looked
good.
good. What do you want me to say? It looked good. What do you want me to do?
I know,
Oh,
but
come on, mate.
We didn't
I know,
even
but
see any
it's-
X-wings in it, did we? It was Naboo that they showed.
Yeah,
that's
get
true.
it right.
Having
Yeah,
the X-wings.
there was it was just the
Get
Star
it right,
Fighters, wasn't
James.
it?
This is Star Trek.
Well, I watched the 30 minutes of play, and I kind of wished I hadn't because that was boring,
Yeah.
wasn't it?
There was a lot of it. I was happy
Yeah.
to see it being played, but yeah, it did go on.
See, this is the problem because this is another thing where I'm clearly too old for a lot of this stuff now because I don't watch people streaming stuff that much because I don't find it very interesting watching other people playing games like in that kind of way. If people are playing it and sort of like commenting on stuff as they're playing, that's more interesting. But watching multiplayer games, I never find that interesting.
Okay, well,
The
this is a
thing
good time to
about
bring it
like
up.
the thing about the whole about streaming is like you say, when you see this stuff, you think, am I just old? But I'm not. I don't feel like I'm against the idea of watching streamers. I've just not found any that I like. Like
Yeah,
I'm not.
it could be that.
I'm not so old that I'm just like, no, I hate the idea of watching someone play a game live and chat over it. Like, no, I'm not. Not at all. Like that sounds cool. Like if I've really got nothing else on, but I've not found any that are entertaining. And I'm just every time I put one on, I'm like biting my nails. Like I was going to say something sexist in a minute, and then I'm going to have to turn it off.
So, James, obviously the big thing from last week was the announcement of F-Zero Night Run.
Yeah.
Looking back on it, How can you reflect on something like that?
Well, I mean, you had me like hook, line, and sinker, like totally, like, and it was depressing. That was because I really did think it did look real for a second, and it's mostly because I wanted it to be real. Like I really wanted to like that to be to be happening. But then I don't know. I didn't believe in the beginning, especially because of the whole. What's it called?
Platinum
games.
No, as soon as you saw the logo, I thought you were well into it.
The moment the trailer started,
there's the feels.
He was all over it. Yeah.
Oh, it's got music.
Yeah, the best bit is when he said there was a problem with the trailer and then admitted it. Like he even gave us an excuse for it. He went, "Oh, there's no other racers on the track here, but presumably that's an early build." And we were all like,
yeah,
"Oh yeah,
of
course,
yeah."
Absolutely.
This is the thing. If you want to believe, you'll excuse anything. And I mean, fair play to you. It was really well put together.
I mean, the sort of happy ending to this. So for those who aren't aware, the footage that I used for that was from a PC game called Redout, which is a homage to F-Zero and Wipeout and that whole thing. It turns out that it was announced back in January. That is actually being ported to the Switch. So if you saw that and thought, man, that looks really good, I wish it was on the Switch, it will be by the end of this year. So that's something.
No need to thank us.
Yeah. But
okay. Right. Should we one of the things we need to go through is the predictions, right?
Absolutely.
So I wrote down all the predictions we made 2 shows ago. We're now going to go through them and see how we did. Sean, have you got a paper and pen nearby?
I haven't.
Oh, yeah, have you got to write scores down on? Because I haven't.
Hang on,
I'm getting 0. It was a shit show from home.
There's a fucking toothbrush in here. I needed a toothbrush when I was in London. I didn't think I had one. Why have I got a toothbrush in my desk drawer?
I could have told you that when I turned up.
Fucking...
Go on.
Look, I've got a pen in my bag, but that's like in the corridor. It's in the hallway.
Haven't you got a phone you could write it down on?
I suppose.
Here we go. I just need someone to keep score. That's all.
Okay. That's it. Okay. I thought I was going to be like going through each. Okay. Yeah, I can do that.
No. Just keep score.
Yeah. Cool.
Right. Okay. So we had our set predictions. We asked you to email in. I'll probably ask at the end if anyone got any of these right more than anything else, Matt. So keep on top of that. Right. So the set question started with Scorpio. What we knew as Scorpio. And we were asking what was the official name going to be. I said Xbox 2, Matt said Xbox, Sean said Xbox Eon, and James said Xbox Scorpio. None of us got that right. Although Sean did sort of drop an X in there at some point, but it wasn't officially submitted.
Yeah, no,
so no points for us. Yeah. Did you notice anyone get the correct name right, Matt?
No. Phil will
from our listeners.
Phil will thought it would be called the Xbox One S, which is already a console, Phil, that you can buy today. So I'm afraid to say you absolutely fucked that one. It was not that. Other people called it Xbox One. Xbox Elite. That's what James Hughes said, and Richard Woodward called it the Xbox Infinite. No,
that was the original. Like a lot of people were predicting that for the last Xbox, wasn't it?
Ridiculous.
Price then. I said £450, so that's a point for David.
Yep.
Matt said £399. Sean said £450, and James said £400. So Sean and David get a point for that. Anyone? I assume a lot of people got $450 now from our listeners.
James Hughes said $450, and in fact it was just James Hughes from the Pura who emailed us who got that. So 1 point to Hughesy.
Nice one, James. Right, release month. I said November. That's another point for me. It's coming out November 7th. Matt said October. Sean said October. James said September.
September.
Anyone? Was there lots of Novembers in our?
There were some Octobers, Novembers. Just mostly everyone said October. So, no. Richard Woodward again, 28th of November. He's smashing it 2-0 at the moment.
Nice.
Celeb on the EA stage. This was in relation to FIFA. Dave said Ronaldo. Matt said Ronaldo. Sean said James Norwood. And James said Ronaldo. None of us put the men in blazers. I'm afraid
I was thinking
none of us get
it
a
was
point.
probably good that it wasn't Ronaldo because, and you pointed this out to me, Dave, is that I originally said Adam Lallana. Then you said, then everyone else said Ronaldo, and I was like, oh yeah, no, Ronaldo, definitely Ronaldo. And then at the end you said, so Lallana, is that correct? And I said, yes. So,
oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, we got it right, and then I had to contact you
just
afterwards.
if it was Ronaldo, this would be a 6-hour show as me and you arguing. But as it is,
Well,
we're safe.
there's still plenty of predictions to come
not
for
worry about
arguments,
that.
Matt. We will get there. First game on stage for Microsoft. I put Battlefront 2. Matt put Splinter Cell. Sean and James both had Forza 7. Sean and James both get a point.
Unbelievable.
Smash that
none
one.
of the listeners got that right.
Sony. I said God of War. Matt said The Last of Us 2. Sean said Bloodborne 2, and James said Bloodborne 2. So no points there.
Well, what was the first one
was it was the Uncharted
Oh God, yeah, of course.
spin-off game. Nintendo. The first game they showed off was what was it? I can't even remember what it was.
Xenoblade, wasn't it?
No, that was later.
Was it?
But we all put Mario, so none of us get a point for that either.
Yeah.
Fine. Now, should we work through our predictions?
Let's do the main ones.
These are where we go off-road. Predictions for EA. Matt. I mean, Matt had so many predictions on this list. It's unbelievable.
Just, put enough seed out there. Hopefully something will grow.
Yeah, not much did, mate.
Ooh, bad crop
Harvest
this year.
will be...
Poor crop in the Murray farm.
Matt, Skate 4 announced.
Where was that?
No, it wasn't. It doesn't exist. New Plants vs Zombies.
Where was that?
A hero-based first-person shooter, games as a service. No.
No, okay.
Microsoft. Matt again.
No, let's just surely go for the rest of the EA ones, right?
That is all the EA ones.
No, but like everyone else's. Did no one else make any EA predictions?
No.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay.
Yeah. Microsoft. Matt said new Tomb Raider exclusive to Xbox. No points. Halo 3 4K remaster. No points. Fallout VR exclusive to Scorpio.
No.
No, is that not right? Okay.
No.
New Dead Space exclusive to Xbox.
This would have been such a great conference, wouldn't it?
Ori and the Blind Forest 2.
Yes.
Yes, but I cannot believe we gave it to you. We did give it to you, so it's yours, but I cannot believe we gave that to you.
Juicy point.
There you get a point. State of Decay 2.
Yep.
On stage demo. So no point for that, I'm afraid.
Very upsetting that was.
A new Perfect Dark. So no points for that. My predictions for Microsoft were Xbox Live price drop. No, that didn't happen.
Off, come on. What's this?
Left 4 Dead 3. That didn't happen either.
No.
Rare Kart Racer. No something of that.
Where are you going with that?
Battlegrounds exclusive to Xbox. I'll take a point.
No. Did you say console launch exclusive?
You turned around.
Did you say console launch exclusive?
Go back, listen to the tapes. You turn around and go Xbox timed exclusive or and I said, well, it doesn't matter. I said they're never going to properly say what that is anyway. So
but they did.
Just
so
exclusive.
Don't get a point for that. No, you said
I do get a point for that.
But did you say console launch or
Matt?
Anyone else?
I get a point.
I mean, it's not exclusive to the Xbox, though, is it? Because they have said they're working on a PS4 version. It's just that PS4 doesn't acknowledge early access as a concept.
It was announced. Was it or was it not announced as an Xbox exclusive?
Well, they were the words they use. That's not what they mean.
Thank you.
Console
Thank
launch
you.
exclusive.
So a point, please. A point. Thank you.
I
Write that one down.
I don't think
Sean.
I can.
You can. Otherwise, I'll just make the points up. Sean.
It sounds like you already are, to be fair, but
I mean, your integrity is already up in the air, Sean. You might as well just at least do some damage limitation.
Just before we go on, it says here, State of Decay 2 will have 4-player co-op.
Oh, wicked.
Sean, you said Crackdown 3 only on Scorpio.
Yeah, that was bollocks.
Unfortunately, that's nonsense. James went mental.
I know, it's terrible. This was a high risk strategy, and it didn't pay off.
That's the highest of risks.
Half-Life 3 announced exclusive to Xbox.
Jesus, I mean,
Halo 6 major change to be more like Destiny.
I mean,
insane.
he was on to something, because obviously that's what Thingy are doing with Anthem.
Yeah.
Nah.
So like, there's a whiff of people trying to get in on that. It just wasn't.
It
You're
is,
being
isn't it?
very, very kind
It's
there.
like when everyone was trying to copy World of Warcraft. It's like everyone's trying to get into this games as a service thing.
Yeah.
So speaking of Halo, 343, the Halo studio, people kept teasing, and people from Microsoft said, no Halo announcements, but 343 have got something else to say this week. And I didn't hear anything from 343 at all.
Yeah, I've not heard a thing.
I thought they was going to announce something, but it's just, I don't know, it don't happen there. But
especially when they use that image of Master Chief's helmet in the opening bit of the conference.
Saw that, and then
something
nothing
must
else
be on the
after
way.
that.
Oh, conspiracy theories. Ooh.
It was dropped at the last second because it looks shit.
They needn't have bothered. They should have just got rid of what is it, Darwin Project?
Yeah, but what would that
Swap
guy have
that
done?
out.
Just shouted in the street.
Dude, I bet he was hired to shout about Halo, and he was bang up for it at the last minute. He goes, "No, actually, you're shouting about this, mate."
Don't say Master Chief.
New Banjo game. James said, "No, no new Banjo game." Cyberpunk exclusive to Xbox.
No.
Scorpio to include an AR device. So
Because it's not expensive enough as it is.
off the rails. Bethesda. James said Doom 2. No dice.
New.
Sean said New Wolfenstein.
Jing.
Dice.
Yeah, so much dice.
One
Put
dice.
All the
myself
dice.
down that point. Matt, new Quake reboot.
Yeah, you can have that. There's a
What?
No, you
there was
can't.
that.
Thank you.
No, there's a Quake.
What are you
there was-
fucking talking
There was a
about?
new Quake game. There was that.
Yeah, but it was announced last year. That's not new.
We specifically said they're already doing a Quake game.
Yes. Yeah.
And
I
you,
meant
you went,
a single player.
You meant like a
you went, no, another one.
Another one. I still think that's going to happen. Maybe next year. Yeah, I think they will reboot it and do a single player type thing they do with Doom. I'd love to see that.
Okay.
It's coming, baby.
Ubisoft. David, Rainbow Six Siege 2 is a no-go.
In your wet dreams.
James, Beyond Good and Evil 2 trailer.
Motherfucker.
I think we can have that.
Yeah.
You
I
can
want to
have
talk
that.
about that sometime, but
Oh, yeah.
We can do it now.
Didn't go on to
Well,
that.
it's not like we didn't have a whole section put aside for you to do that.
because you started slagging me off for whatever I said, so it kind of ended.
Well, should we talk about it now, James? Or
No, it's fine. Go on, continue.
no,
No,
this
go on,
is like
talk about it now, talk about it now.
literally
This
the
is-
perfect time to talk about it.
Well, I hated it, but that's the.
Okay, I
Why
hated
did
that
you hate
fucking
it?
trailer.
I absolutely hated it. I hated that trailer. And this is somebody. See, I really, really loved like Beyond Good and Evil, and I hated that. I hated the dialogue. I hated the visual aesthetic, and it didn't feel like it had like the sort of the hope and the beauty of the first game at all. I just found it depressing. That monkey, like the dialogue was so terrible. Like all just like the swearing, like just the constant swearing, which was like rubbish. I don't know. I just hated it. I just really hated that trailer. I watched it and I thought, what am I watching here? I just really, really didn't like it.
Dude, you are literally the only person I've seen get the hump about that.
I don't care.
this is-
Well, the thing is I don't care because I don't think it's ever going to get finished anyway. I don't
That
think
is
it's
a
ever going to
possibility.
And
He's written it off completely.
no, you know why?
He's written it
Because
off.
the thing is, if Ubisoft get bought by Vivendi, then it's done anyway. So I just don't think it's going to happen. So, but I hated it. Come on, that
You
monkey.
said,
with
James,
that-
you only saw that today, didn't you?
Yeah, I saw it today, and
I thought that were one of the first things you watched when you had the internet turned back on, even though it was already on.
No, you see, that was the other problem with this, and this is the other reason why it's been really difficult to sort of articulate my feelings about these conferences, because I watched it all in such a sort of a scattergun sort of way, and I wasn't really sure. I started watching a bit of one, then a bit of another, and it was all kind of disjointed and not that great. But yeah, I don't know, I hated it. I really hated it. I thought it was awful. But yeah.
Oh, and to be clear, just to clear something up, if you were listening to last week's show, there was a weird bit at the end of when we were talking about Beyond Good and Evil, where I sort of said, Sean, are you going to say what we were talking about this morning? And you went, sorry, I've gone blank. I don't know what you're talking about. And I went, oh, don't worry, Sean's just fucked it. Right? I text Sean. I say it on the show. I just need to text Sean something. I text him, this is how you fuck with Farley. Because Farley I could tell that he was on the edge of thinking this is total bollocks. And the more I chucked in stuff like that, the more he convinced himself that it was bollocks. So it was, I just love messing with his head. You don't even need to do much.
Thanks.
It's really funny because when we were doing this, I don't think we must have said it on the stream because we were in the we were in that room the whole time. But they were saying, "Well, how are you going to top that next year? Like, it's not going to be the same with Matt." And I said, "No, you can fuck with Matt in a completely different way. I mean, Matt comes at these things from a totally different angle. You can attack that angle easily. Like, we're going to mess with Matt's head next month.
I'm dreading
year.
it.
Do not worry about it.
What is arguably the biggest highlight of my year, and that is going to be taken away from me, and I'm going to have to question everything. Not looking forward to it.
Right, okay. Where were we up to?
We were
Beyond Good and Evil.
Ubisoft, Beyond Good and Evil 2.
So we're now on Sony. Sony is Matt Murray. PSVR Plus camera bundle announced. Nothing was announced, so we can price drop on all PlayStations. Nope.
Nope.
Nope. New IP from Sucker Punch.
No.
Bayonetta 3 Kickstarter.
I don't know where that was.
Borderlands 3.
Fucking hell! What a poor conference.
Demon's Souls.
As an aside, sorry, I know because we talked about this the other week, and James was asking if 2 was worth going back to. I had a quick go on it on Steam because there's still like DLC and stuff that I never touched. It's good, but just feels weirdly dated purely for the fact that you can't fast travel from anywhere. Like, you have to run back to like fast travel points, and for some reason that alone makes it like almost unplayable now.
Oh wow!
Funny how time works, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, but I mean that's what I feel like when I go back and play old Halo games, and I'm like, what do you mean I can't look down the sights? Like,
yeah, there'll just be some really minor like quality of life thing, and you're just like, that is the game's only 5 years old, but that is completely unacceptable now.
It's completely unacceptable. Demon's Souls remaster never happened. 5+ new PSVR games. Ooh. That's a point to Matt for that one.
Yeah, how many did we get? Was it
6.
5 or was it?
It was 6.
It was definitely 5.
Okay.
No,
it
Dave.
was 5.
Come on.
I don't know why you'll keep arguing in it.
Because
I mean,
it's the principle. Like, Skyrim, VR is a new VR game. Can't deny that.
That's not what you said. You said there'll be 5 new games announced for PSVR.
I said
it's not a new game. It's an old game.
It's a new VR game.
It's a new
PSVR game.
PSVR.
It's a new game for PSVR.
Okay,
I mean, the fact that we're arguing about this, but we're not arguing about whether or not Final Fantasy Fishing counts as a new game.
Yeah, that's a good point. Let's take a vote. Would you have given Matt that point, Sean?
I wouldn't.
If it
was resting on Skyrim, I don't think I would have. No.
Nor would I.
It's literally a new PSVR game.
If it's not a new game,
so James's vote is null and void.
Well,
but
it's not a new. Go on.
James, who would you vote? Which way would you have voted?
Send it to Deadlock.
Come down to that?
James, send it to Deadlock.
No, I mean it's already won. It's 2 on. There's 2 votes out of 3. That's already said you wouldn't have got that point.
Well, I thought it was like you and Sean versus me and James, and then we 2-2, and then we have a wrestle.
You don't get a vote.
You can't vote for yourself. What the hell?
I said vote for me.
Could you imagine that on the X Factor? Well, actually, I vote for myself to stay in. So, what are you going to do now? Well, you're a contestant.
Fuck off. James,
I would have let you have that actually.
Thank you.
Now.
2 against 1, so he still gets the point.
I still get the point. So thank you.
He also said the PS5 was going to be announced. So,
fucking hell.
What?
I told you
that's
that was
almost
insane.
as bad as me thinking that like Half-Life 3 was going to be on
No
that
way,
stage.
James.
There was no way that was going to happen. They just released the Pro.
Teased it.
Right, so I only made one prediction, and it was rubbish. Shenmue 3 shown off in some form. That never happened in any form.
Even a logo would have been nice. But
Sean went with Armored Core VR.
Nah.
And new Monster Hunter.
Yes.
So he gets a point for that. James's predictions, sponsored by Glixel, were Detroit in VR.
No.
That didn't happen. No. PSVR price cut.
No.
Sadly,
That was never announced. Shenmue 1 and 2 remaster.
No.
A new Sony handheld.
Come on, this would have been awesome. I'd have been well happy if they'd have done this. But
I'm surprised you're not trying to argue that the new phone link thing is kind of valid.
Yeah, no, that does
Did
not
you watch
count.
that trailer as well, James?
what is that?
Oh, I posted that twice in the group.
Did you?
Yeah, what was it called?
Something suspect. Oh, forget it.
can't remember what it's called.
For fucking hound. Whatever. It's gone now. Yeah, you should watch that. It's from the Until Dawn people.
Oh yeah. Okay.
You probably won't bother now.
James not even giving a comment on what he's seen. Oh yeah, okay. Right. He also said New Jack and Daxter, and PS Now to be included with a PS Plus sub.
Nope.
So no points
These are
there.
all weird. This is just basically a wish list. Didn't get anything. It was,
James, did we actually tell you that there's a reason why we were so light on lies? Because there was another set piece moment that we were expected to bring to the E3 show last year that never happened in the end. So just after you went off the internet, I say off the internet, I mean just after you whatever, Reddit and that, there was a leak that Bubsy was going to be announced at E3.
Oh yeah.
were you going to go with that as a thing?
No, the idea was if it was announced, we were going to say that Bubsy was there, then you would have clearly called bullshit on it, and then we would have admitted that it was bullshit and that we made it up and you caught us out, only for it to have been really announced. And you'd find out later. It was like a double bluff, but it turns out they didn't announce it at all. Was that all bollocks then, Sean, beforehand? I've
honestly no idea. I keep
from.
seeing it on Twitter, but I think that's now just people joking about it. I don't think it's actually...
I don't think anybody would ever want to bring that back, would they? I mean, what's the point?
Well, I mean, it's better than Lucky's Tale or whatever that was. Surely. Nintendo then. Matt. Virtual console details announced. That didn't happen. Animal Crossing mobile game released during Direct. No. Pikmin 4 announced.
No.
Xenoblade Chronicles 2 announced.
Yes.
Right, hang on.
Massive fucking point.
Slow down.
Matt,
no, it doesn't matter what you say, Sean, because it was accepted. So thank you.
Let me just, because I need to talk about this one. It's an important prediction. I was so happy for Matt when this was announced. Sean, I need you to be my eyes and ears on this stuff. You know I know nothing about Xenoblade Chronicles. I don't know anything about that side of gaming. And I don't know if you just didn't know or whatever, but it turns out that I don't think you're going to get a point for this, Matt.
Whoa, no. Well,
because this was it, right? So the reason I let this slide, and I don't know, maybe people listening to when we made the predictions probably thought what my comment sounded weird. I was positive that this had been announced, but was just announced as Xenoblade 2. But having looked into it, that's what it's called in Japan. But all the trailers we saw here called it Xenoblade Chronicles 2. So I don't know where I pulled that from.
Xenoblade Chronicles 2 was announced in January of 2017 by Nintendo.
Yeah.
Was it?
Yep.
Yes.
But was it?
Yes.
It was a fake trailer now.
No. Right. Someone tweeted us a link to the trailer dated back in January that clearly states Xenoblade Chronicles 2, and I checked in with Mr. Nintendo Joe Scrabbles, and he confirmed, yes, this was always Xenoblade Chronicles 2
Joe Scrabbles
over here.
is a proven liar. Let's not... Look.
No, Joe Scrabbles didn't lie. It was Sean and Chris and Andy to some extent that lied.
Wait, hang on. What's Chris?
He's not proven liar. The shitting.
Oh yeah. Sorry. Yeah.
So you admit it.
The shitting. So I mean, James, were you? Because I thought we were on the same page with this. Were you just going with what I said? That's a bad idea.
Yeah, because I thought this was already...
I mean, you dropped the ball here, Sean, because this is your area. But I suppose we better vote
why am I the
Matt gets
fucking
a point.
weeb of the group? That's not on.
Look around. What do you think?
This is why I don't hang around with normal cool people. Right.
Right, so we better do a vote then. Does Matt get the point, Sean?
Nah.
What? No, it was agreed on the last show. Okay,
I'm going to say no as well.
I can hear you grinning as you say that, Matt.
Is it that obvious?
Further evidence has come to light, Matt, and it needs to be taken into
Just
account.
because I was going to win last week, Dave. Just remember how happy
Trust me,
you
I
were.
looked at these predictions last week. You weren't going to win.
Yeah.
James.
I'm going to say
James,
no as well, because Matt's been
that's
attacking me.
off.
So
That's
it's
3 no's. I mean,
so
I might have given him a
unfair.
point. I might have given him a point if it weren't for that that tweet yesterday that he put out from the Computer Game Show account.
Great bit of content.
Right, so no points for Matt. Smash Brothers 4 port, he also said that didn't happen. I think we all did pretty badly with Nintendo.
Yeah.
I think,
because we were
I can't
expecting them
remember.
to actually show more stuff, but they didn't. Go on.
They did have a few surprises.
I can't believe none of us suggested Rocket League.
Didn't we?
I didn't.
Didn't we think it was a bit too obvious? I think.
No. We it completely went over our heads. I think it would have been a good shout, and whoever would have said it, I definitely would have given it to them because I don't think it was that obvious.
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting it this year. Put it that way. I thought it would have maybe come like early next year or something. But for them to announce at E3, that was pretty. I was really excited by that. I've said before, I love Rocket League, but the fact that now I can just sit when Joe's watching something crap on the telly, I could sit back and have a proper game of Rocket League like on a handheld is just, it's too good. It's too good. Right, I said new F-Zero game announced. Technically,
Yeah,
I should get a point. From 1 minute 20, James thought I had a point, but
Listen, right,
no.
there was a trailer for a new F-Zero that featured game footage. The game footage is of a real game that's coming to the Switch.
Yeah, it's a good point. It's as close as I'm getting. 3+ Wii U games coming to Switch. That didn't happen. New Switch colours. That didn't happen. Bayonetta 3 announced. That didn't happen. Bayonetta 1 and 2 coming to Switch. That didn't happen. Joy-Con to be used as a fitness device. That didn't happen.
Ridiculous.
Either. So I shot nothing. I was terrible there. Sean, you had Monster Hunter XX coming to the West.
Nope.
That didn't happen. Online app launching during Direct.
No.
That didn't happen. 10+ minutes of Mario Rabbids game, and we should highlight this was before it leaked that the show was only 24 minutes long, so that would have been insane.
I did decide to stick with it though. I wasn't backing down.
You did. Wii Fit coming to Switch. No. That didn't happen. James was the only one that picked up a point. He said no mention of Virtual Console. Oh shit, he gets 2 points, doesn't he? Because there was no mention of Virtual Console. So he gets a point for that. He gets YouTube and Netflix coming to Switch. That didn't happen. New 3DS hardware. That didn't happen. Switch Sports. That didn't happen. Oh, he doesn't get a point for this.
No.
Retro working on new Metroid game.
Yeah,
Oh,
they're
It's
not.
not them, is it? It's
No, it's not them. Unlucky.
Brilliant.
That is unlucky, that. But yeah, so that was all our predictions. Matt, was there anything that was incredibly spot on from our listeners?
No, I mean, they all made the same mistakes we did, and that was they wanted a great conference, and it didn't really happen. No, I mean, everyone else said Ronaldo. Phil Wall said SNES Mini. He was just a little bit late with that. A little bit early, sorry. Yeah. He did say a new Metroid game, so there's a point in there, definitely. And the rest are just like wish lists that no one got to rate.
Yeah, and that kind of sums up why E3 2017 was so disappointing. Mm-hmm. But
sorry,
I'm pretty sure...
James Hughes also said new Metroid for Switch, so James Hughes is definitely the winner of the listener one.
Well done, James. You win nothing. There are no prizes. I mean, all this embarrassing E3 2017 stuff is just pointing to the fact that they're all waiting for next year, and 2018 is going to be off the charts. We all know this. We all know this, don't we, Matt?
I was thinking, this is a duff year, so next year will be amazing. And
absolute banger.
I mean, I said to you straight after the Sony one, James is so lucky to miss this year because he missed nothing. Absolutely fuck
Sean,
all.
what were the scores?
Joint last place, Dave and Matt with 2 each.
Right, okay, I know that's not true because I had 3 at least.
All right, well, it doesn't make
Why
any
did
difference.
I ask the tired man?
Okay, Dave, you
room?
can be joint second place with James with 3 points.
Yeah.
And in first, Sean, King of E3 Bell, 4 points.
Right, something's gone wrong here because I checked these last week, right?
Yeah.
And I made it 4 points to James and 3 points to the rest of us. And then
Sean's absolutely fucked.
And then we dropped Matt a point, it would have been 2 for Matt, 3 for us 2. Yeah. So where's this gone wrong?
So, so the only change here is that we dropped James with Retro working on new Metroid game, yeah?
Yeah, but I'm sure I didn't count that.
We can go back through it if you want.
We just very quickly because we need to be sure. So, oh no, I think do you know what I did? I think I gave James a point for the price on Xbox One and not Sean. That's the difference.
Okay.
I think that's where I fucked it. Yeah. So Sean, well done.
Cheers,
Matt.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
For producing the most predictions, only get 2 right. It's pretty embarrassing, mate.
I wanted a good E3. We all know what happened.
I'll tell you what, Matt, that is embarrassing considering the shit that I came out with. And, with the...
New Sony handheld.
Still beaten by James.
New Sony handheld Half-Life 3, come on.
Although, I will say this. I mean, that's a total of, 12 predictions we got right this year? That's not bad, is it?
Yeah, I mean,
considering
some
it's
of
a
them
total
my list was
crapshoot,
only like 71 in the end, so fine.
I think we did all right this year, but
I mean, the whole point is that you can't
think.
bet on the surprises, right? That's why they're surprises. That's why it's entertaining.
And that's what you want to go for, because if you pick the other obvious shit, it's just not
Exactly.
fun. We're trying to defend ourselves now, aren't we? Right, okay, where are we going from here? Is it straight onto emails and questions and stuff?
We've actually got time to do them.
Okay.
We have.
So, if you want to email us, it's thecomputergameshow@gmail.com. First one's from DB. He says, I would imagine you are already being asked this question as I write, but just in case, what game would TCGS stream online for 24 hours? I'm presuming that it would be difficult to convince David to play Monster Hunter for 24 minutes, let alone hours. Can Farley stomach 24 hours of Rocket League? How many VR headsets would Matt need to provide? Is Rainbow Six Siege too much of a shooty bang bang?
Rainbow Six Siege, I don't think would work. Rocket League would be alright, but I think it's done to death now. I was thinking it would be quite fun to do speedrunners. I've been playing a lot of that while we bit. In fact, I've got a shit ton of games that I'd love to talk about. But we're going back to our normal format next week. Mm-hmm. One of them is speedrunners, which is fucking superb. It was on Games with Gold last month, or in June. That would be good for a stream, but I think we all know what the answer to this question is, right? If it was the 4 of us doing a stream like this, it would probably have to be Trackmania Turbo, wouldn't it?
Oh yeah, definitely. That'd be so good.
It's got to be. And I said at the time as well, though, I would like to see, I would absolutely love to see Sean on his own do a 24-hour stream of him playing FIFA, from career mode to seasons, to everything, just to see if he scores a goal.
Ever.
Just at any point.
I'd like to see him play the Journey. I think that'd be...
What was the hardest bit of the stream, Sean? Because I actually watched a fair bit of it. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was great. And I watched certainly the evening, and I had some work to do, so I stopped around 10 or 11. But what was it like at 3 or 4 in the morning? Was that the toughest bit? Or
do you know, it
was the toughest bit once Dave and Joe left?
Sort of 1 to 1 to 4 in the morning actually wasn't too bad, because we were in a bit of the game where we were, it wasn't too hard and we were still making progress. It was when we got to the ruins, and it was just a fucking slog. Like, it was just such it's because I was bored. Like, I wasn't engaged with it anymore. It was just difficult, and I just couldn't be arsed. And then and as soon as that was done, totally perked up again. The hardest part was just the room was too fucking hot, and it was sweaty, and you just, it just becomes really difficult to just take care of yourself in the most basic ways. Even though, someone's coming down and going, does anyone want any water? And you're just like, I'm all right. No, I'm not all right. Why am I saying I'm all right? I'm dying. Why am I?
This is terrible.
And, why did I not bring more food other than fucking cereal bars? And just stuff like that. It's just looking after yourself. It's the toughest bit.
Do you remember, my favourite bit is, do you remember when you did your stream for Uncharted, Matt? Yeah. And it got to the final credits, and you had streamers, party hats, balloons, and all that sort of stuff. I mean, you watch the Midnight Resistance one; they've just done 24 hours, and they literally went, "Oh, we're done now. Okay, well, cheers. Well, it's the end of the stream," and then just turned it off. No, it was just
no, we did. The reason it cut off is we went, right, well, we'll switch it over and we'll just play some retro stuff for the last sort of 2 hours. And no,
I'm talking about at the 24-hour mark, 12 o'clock on Tuesday.
Oh, I see. Oh, right, yeah.
You literally just went, okay, well, that's enough. Okay, goodbye. And I was thinking, have a bit of fanfare.
We were pretty
get Matt Murray
fucked by that
streamers.
point. We couldn't, we were just oh, God, we can go home. Thank fuck.
So after playing it for a full 24 hours, do you ever want to play that game again?
Not for a long time.
And do you want?
Mate,
because
it looks
it
looks awful, that game.
It's the wrong way to play it, more than anything. Obviously, it's not aged well in numerous ways, but it was constantly having to explain to Chris that like this isn't even how it was designed to be played. Like you're supposed to be dipping in and out of like basically, Matt, if you can imagine, it's pretty much like if you were playing Destiny but you only had access to patrol mode.
Oh my god.
So yeah, exactly. So yeah, not the way to enjoy it. Still want Phantasy Star Online 2 in the West, please, Sega. Thank you. We tweeted at Sega trying to get them to plug it, and they didn't do shit.
Yeah, I saw that.
Sega are too busy. Sega are too busy bringing out their old games on iPhone.
Sega are too busy breaking my heart every single week.
James, Matt lost his shit when they first started like hinting that they were doing something. Matt was like tweeting out, "They're going to enter the hardware."
I mean, I never genuinely believed that. I wouldn't ever allow myself to believe it, but. The BitSocket guys posted loads of good tweets about this week, but it's so true. I mean, Sega must be looking at what they've done compared to what Nintendo have done with like releasing the mini NES and mini SNES and them selling out in seconds and everyone loving that. Whereas Sega have just allowed loads of shitty third-party people to like make crappy versions of Mega Drives for like 30 quid and no one knows, let alone any fanfare. And then instead they also decide to release some of their old games with bad ports on iOS. Yeah, it's like,
but
Sega
to be
could
fair,
so
Sega
differently.
Sega did bring out a mini Mega Drive.
No, it wasn't them directly though. No, it was a.
They got some third-party company to do it.
Like, I mean, I absolutely love Sega. If they release new, hardware, I'll be there. First, second, I absolutely love them and whatnot. But yeah, if they have like a mini Saturn, mini Mega Drive, Master System, I would get all of them. I mean, I didn't get a mini NES. I never even owned a NES or a SNES when I was younger. But I didn't get them. I mean, they look cool, and I have pre-ordered SNES only because I didn't have one, so it's quite interesting. But there's no emotional connection there for me. Whereas if there's a mini Sega, Saturn or Dreamcast, I would be like, oh my god! And I guess I'll be feeling some of the things that people are feeling now when they're absolutely psyched to get a SNES. But yeah, it's so sad.
Here's the problem, though, Matt. Right, you say you absolutely love Sega, and if they brought out something new, then you'd be all over that. You're using that in the current tense. Like what? I mean, Sega have done fuck all for years. Like what? Surely it's games. I absolutely loved them. It's a shame that they're not that anymore. It's weird that you'd still be fully prepared to buy whatever they want.
Yeah, definitely.
Considering.
Why?
I
love Sega.
Yeah, but the Sega that exists now is not in any way near the Sega that it used to be.
It's not.
All.
No, it's
I mean, sad. It's not like Atari or anything, but it's
Even Atari bringing out new hardware. Yeah, man. I mean, I obviously know they're not going to bring out a proper new hardware, a proper new console. But yeah, I still get excited. I mean, I love the old official Sega magazines, Mean Machine Sega Saturn, Dreamcast Mag. They were all brilliant.
But that was years and years ago, Matt. It's over. It is over now.
I properly got into gaming. I could have bought a PlayStation, but I bought a Saturn, and I love that. I love that console, Sega Rally, Daytona, all those games, Burning Rangers on the Saturn. I love my Dreamcast. I want that feeling of excitement back. Obviously, I was younger than very different, but them releasing these games on iOS is just not doing anything for me.
This is what I was telling you about nostalgia and how it's dangerous. This is the match. I will buy anything you bring out because the good stuff you did a decade ago.
Because different people employed by the same company did 15 years ago.
It's just the same name.
I say that, and yet I haven't bought any of the Yakuza games. So, how much do I really love Sega?
Have we all seen that really pretentious trailer that they put out with what's his name?
Oh god, yeah. Oh my god, yeah. The whole it starts with the eyes.
I know, like don't you dare put that out and not make me think something big is coming. Not just they're probably releasing old retro games on iOS. No, I can't be that. This trailer feels much bigger than that. Fucking hell.
We've seen the way that people look at in-app purchases, and we're going to milk people for that. Yeah,
it wouldn't be so bad if they were releasing all that stuff on like consoles as well.
Yeah, or like a PC a PC.
It wouldn't be so bad if it fucking worked.
Yeah.
Oh, Sega.
This is a company that once had the catchphrase "Sega do what Nintendo don't," and it's like Sega are trying to do what Nintendo do now, not quite as successfully.
Sega have said with this Sega Forever stuff that they will be releasing games from every era of Sega hardware. So. Saturn games, Dreamcast games, Mega Drive, I'll be well up for that.
You're going to want to play any of that on your phone?
Exactly, it'd be awful.
Possibly.
Playing that stuff.
Although,
But Sega already released like a whole bunch of stuff like on phones like over the last 7 or 8 years or whatever, and a lot of it had problems. I mean, they released stuff like Jet Set Radio came out on it, but it's unplayable.
Crazy Taxi.
Yeah,
it's got Bluetooth controller
Get a bunch
support.
of Dreamcast stuff on the Switch.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean?
Just do that, man. Fine.
Who would want Crazy Taxi on the Switch?
Power Stone.
Who would just get that shit on the Switch? It's perfect.
Mm-hmm.
It's perfect for old cool Sega stuff.
Yeah, David, it sounds a bit like maybe a virtual console would be a good idea, like on the Switch, where you could play games like this. It'd be nice.
Well, I mean, it wouldn't be Virtual Console, would it? Because that was just Nintendo stuff, wasn't it?
No.
They
It had,
the Wii had like a whole bunch of like Mega Drive games and even Master System games.
and
Yeah, no, but
Commodore
they could still
64
sell.
games.
I mean, you could still sell them as digital games. That's available on the Switch at the moment. You could still do that shit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean,
There's
it
nothing
wouldn't
stopping them just putting them on the eShop.
Yeah, whether or not it'd be under the Virtual Console thing, it's kind of immaterial. They could definitely fucking do it either way.
I reckon that's never coming back. I don't think they're going to bother with it for the Switch. No.
Because
I think it's going to be replaced with this whole subscription service thing.
Or
and
the NES Mini, or a SNES Mini, or whatever.
Yeah, but I mean that's so limited. It's just here the games that are on it. That's it.
Oh no, but look how they fucking sell, man.
It's true. It's fucking true. Right. Okay. Next question.
Hi, all. Thanks for the
we didn't
fantastic...
actually answer that, did we, properly?
Yeah, we did.
I guess
Trackmania
Trackmania.
Turbo.
Yeah, we did.
There you go.
Yeah.
Definitely did.
Hi, all. Thanks for the fantastic E3 podcast.
Thanks, James.
I personally found this E3 a little underwhelming, with the biggest highlight for me being Beyond Good and Evil 2 and F-Zero Night Run. My question is, what was your biggest disappointment of E3 this year? That's from Adam.
Well, just a lack of big announcements, lack of surprises, I guess.
See, for me, it was the lack of on-stage presence from Sony. I like and
Really?
from
You
Microsoft
care about that
to an
much,
extent.
and that's your biggest disappointment.
I do. I like it when it's a show. When I sit down and watch an E3 thing, I like it when it's a show, even if it's Nintendo just doing wacky shit between the trailers like they have been. I like to be entertained with this stuff along with the trailers and everything. And I mean, Microsoft wasn't brilliant, but they still had people on stage chatting and getting things going. Try at least trying something.
The weird thing about that is there's barely any on-stage demos this year, and I didn't think there was any, but then someone said actually there's 2 women playing Forza on stage, but there was hardly any. I can't remember any others other than that.
Isn't that because they've just realised that on-stage demos are a terrible idea? And like,
but
they
are, and I don't miss that side of things. But I just wanted to see more developers to come out and talk about their games. I think that's what it is. That's what I miss.
Yeah, if we had more people like Joseph on the EA one talking about a way out, more people like him, it would have been great.
Yeah. That was probably my biggest disappointment. Why not bring the devs out while these, that gameplay trailer of?
But they did do that a lot on the Xbox One. They had. The creative direction.
No, I'm talking about Sony specifically. Oh, okay. That zombie game. When the game's being played, just say, look, this is what's going on, and this is why this is different from fucking Uncharted or The Last of Us.
Sony's E3 show was so bad, it felt like, one, they'd forgotten about it, and 2, everyone was on annual leave. It's like, well, it's dead here. Sean, just get a suit on. Can you just say a couple of words? And it's like, I've written some marketing bollocks. And just get out of there. It's okay. It's just 2 very, very short bits in the middle and then towards the end. Just talk bollocks. Done.
Thanks for making PlayStation.
Yeah.
Oh, shut up, mate. Right, you go, Sean.
I think it's not seeing anything from software. I assumed we'd get a hint of something like, perhaps going a bit far with Armored Core VR, but I assumed we were going to get a teaser for like a Bloodborne 2 or just anything else.
Do you think they're much more likely to do that? Sorry, at Tokyo Game Show.
Possibly, or Sony, whatever they call it, PlayStation Experience.
Yeah, actually, even after this, Sony said, I guess a lot of people were moaning on Twitter or wherever else about the lack of surprises and announcements, and Sony did It felt like they had to put out a statement out almost, but they said, "Hey, don't worry, there's more coming this year," and so that's clearly hinting at PSX being another place where it's going to have big reveals.
Yeah, it's interesting. Like, you wonder if Sony are sort of doing this transition the same way Nintendo did with the Directs and stuff.
Yeah,
like, are they just going to be sort of spreading things out more?
It makes sense.
Or is
it their own Apple-style conferences?
Yeah.
Because they've got the PlayStation experience, haven't they? As you said, maybe they're just building tools, just using that instead.
Yeah, possibly.
Sean, when you said last week that you thought From Software were working on the new Metroid game, is that you legitimate with that?
That is a rumor I've heard. Yes.
No, I mean, yeah.
When you said that, I was like, "Shit, is that real? Is that?
I mean, is that a wind up?
Yeah, it's too perfect, isn't it?
There was also people questioning that when Matt said that he thought Mario and Rabbids was a multi-platform game, whether he was trying to go for a lie there, but he's fully admitted that no, he just had a complete melt.
That would have been a great one, wouldn't it?
What, Mario going multi-platform?
Yeah, what is Ubisoft?
He would have never have gone for that.
Would you have gone for that, James?
No.
Okay. Well, you did believe an F-Zero trailer with readout footage.
That's a good point.
It was late in the night. I was already jet lagged, and I wanted it to be real. It's
must be an early build.
I'm surprised that no one really had a pop at James for believing it. I thought people were going to watch it and be like, "What the fuck, James? Come on!"
Some people on Twitter said, "I can't believe that," but in the heat of the moment, you've had 2 hours or 3 hours at that point of us talking about games. You didn't know what was real and what wasn't.
I got to defend James there because there was a few people in WhatsApp groups and that saying, "I can't believe you fell for that." But my point is that you will never know. You'd never be in that position that James was in. He knew absolutely nothing, and he'd just been podcasting for about 3 hours, and it's flown back from the show, so he was tired anyway. And he had the pressure of watching this trailer while the show was recording. All of these things together, you just don't know if you'd have believed it or not. So it's easy to say now, "Oh, I can't believe you believe that," but you weren't in his position. So that I defended you there, James.
Thank you. But yeah, it's also like you're watching it on a mobile.
Thank you.
You're watching it on like a tiny mobile screen as well. It's not like I don't know.
Yeah, no. I'd say it's totally. I can totally see why you would have believed it. It was just with obviously everyone else has a very different perspective on it, so I was expecting more like, come on, it's blatantly bollocks stuff. But no, everyone's been pretty good.
Yeah. Oh, thank you.
Just nearly built.
Just an early build. All the fills there.
All the fills there. Oh, the logo. Oh, got the music.
Yeah, okay, that's enough then. Anyways.
This is pretty good. This is pretty good, to be honest. Right, okay.
Okay, tweets. If you want to tweet us, it's at ComputerGamePod on Twitter. The first one is from QT, who says, I don't know. Are you four tempted to play that Star Trek bridge crew together?
All the fills there. How much would we need to do that?
That's the thing.
How much money? What is it on?
It's on PSVR, Oculus, and Vive. Actually, I'm not 100% sure what Oculus, but definitely PSVR and Vive.
If there's a company out there that can put that together, we will turn up and play it. We have not got £1 million to play that game.
Like had I the means to do that, I'd be fucking all over it, man. Yeah. And especially with you guys, that'd be hilarious because obviously
it looks great.
Me taking it seriously, James taking it seriously, Matt just loving VR stuff, and Dave just being like, "The fuck is this, you nerds?"
Doing everything I can to ruin the experience for everyone.
Well, because my brother's played a bit of this, and he was chatting about it, saying how it's really fucking weird because I don't know if you get to choose what position you are on the bridge, but basically sometimes you are the captain, and you don't actually have much to do other than looking at a screen and just fucking bossing people around. And if you're not comfortable with that, it's just the most awful experience.
See, can you imagine that? If you're in that position, Sean, and then you're telling David what to do, and he's going to ignore you, not do it,
just
do
doing the wanker symbol and all that.
Yeah, that's a great thing because, obviously, particularly on Vive, but I guess also on PSVR, holding move, the fact that you can point and whatnot, it allows people to communicate in a way they would naturally do so, not having to say press X or whatever. So I know nothing about Star Trek. I don't really care for it, but I'd love to play that. I bet it'd be really, really fun.
There was a video of a game. I think it was an Oculus game that I think I prefer the social stuff with Oculus than the actual games themselves, and like VR than the games themselves. So you've got this Bridge Crew thing, which is like a very social game, and it's about interacting with people and stuff like that. There was also this game for Oculus where it's literally it's people playing a role playing game. Right?
Yeah, this is also on PSVR. It's called Werewolves Within from Ubisoft.
Yeah, so you're just sitting around in a circle, but just chatting to one another. And it was hilarious every time I watched that. And the same with Rec Room. That's the stuff that interests me with VR. Being in this social space, knowing that everyone in that room has that VR headset on and are in this big social space together, that's what I like about that stuff. And the more I see of that, the more I think, actually, I prefer that than the more solo experiences where you're just, playing on your own in a game. It's weird.
There's also Sports Bar VR on PSVR. I'm not sure it's on other platforms.
Isn't that total shit, though?
I haven't actually got it. I really want it. But you can play pool, you can play darts, you can throw bottles, you can... Yeah, they've also added chess now and backgammon. And the fact you can see everyone's like just their headsets and also their move controllers floating around. It's
oh man, I'd love to see someone try and play chess with the motion control thing, because that is shoddy at the best of times. I just see you trying to pick up a thing and then just like flipping the table and shit. Okay, cool. Next question.
Okay, Sergeant Stan Grodge says, knowing you guys are huge fans of Typewriter, I saw there's a game called Typo Man. Does anyone fancy it?
No.
Typo Man.
I know nothing about it. To be honest, at a glance, I was like, "Oh right, is that like a prequel or something? Is this part of the
it's nothing
lineage?"
related.
But no, it's not, is it? Yeah.
I played it on Wii U when it was there was like a beta version of it, I think, but it wasn't that great. I didn't think. Anyway, Sinewy says, eBay scalping is a moral crime.
All the fills there.
So, what should the punishment be?
What? Say that again.
See, you were too busy thinking of ways to take the piss.
Out of you. Yeah, go on.
No, I'm not. I don't want to read it again. I don't want to do it. I'm sick of this. It's like by the time we get to this stage, every night, it's always like this.
This is much earlier, James. It's only 5 to 11. And the people are taking the time to write messages in.
Have you got a feeling that it's got nothing to do with the time, but more to do with the way you are? It's just like your little tics and your little ways that you approach things.
Sinewy says, eBay scalping is a moral crime, so what should the punishment be?
Oh, I don't know. I'd sit in a room with Andy, Owen, Sean and Chris 7 hours into a live stream. That seems like punishment enough to me. I mean, I'm waiting for the evidence, but I've got a feeling that's not going to show. Mm-hmm. Using that to try and make their stream sound better. Mm-hmm. Go on.
Luke Cage says, will you ever commit to regular streaming sessions?
We're not really committed to irregular ones.
No, I there is part of me that I wish I could say, one night a week I'll be streaming something. But to be honest with you, it's just never going to be doable. Yeah. The one night a week I've got to do stuff is Monday nights and doing the computer game show, and the past few weeks have proven that that's not been possible alone. So actually committing to streaming one night a week isn't going to be possible. Yeah. Matt, you ever interested in getting back to it?
Yeah, I really want to. I mean, I loved doing that Uncharted series. And I put loads of time and effort in trying to get things sorted out for that Mass Effect or Matt's Effect replaying. After 2 weeks of fanning about and stuff, I just gave up. But I certainly can't commit, just like David, to regular streaming sessions. But I do definitely want to get back into streaming and do some stuff. So I will do some stuff. But
have you played a game recently, Matt, where you thought actually this would be brilliant to stream?
No. Next question.
Okay,
cool.
Okay,
I want James to stream. That'd be quality. Yeah. Also, right?
It wouldn't. It would be fun.
While we were on our little break between, I was playing a lot of Dirt 4.
Oh yeah.
And I did stream. I put the headset on Harry and let him stream, and that combination is fucking hilarious. And I'm going to have to do it again with something else, because I might even do it with Dirt 4 again. Because watching someone play a serious racer like that badly is funny enough, but then hearing him like just say, I love that car, as it's like slamming into a tree and stuff, was just really funny to me. And maybe it's one of those like parent things where I'm just going, oh, isn't my kid great? But I mean, I'm going to have to do that again, because I was sitting next to him just belly laughing. Like you watch like 14 people watching, and it's him just like flying off the track towards people. And like, yeah, it was good. I might have to do that again. Fun.
James Swift Day says, which games would you want on a potential SNES Mini 2? Chrono Trigger seems a bigger mission with Square Enix on board with the first one.
There's been a lot of... I know this isn't what James is saying, so I'm absolutely not having a pop at him, but have you seen people moaning about the games on the SNES Mini? What the fuck is wrong with them?
I mean, I haven't properly looked at the lineup, but from what I saw of it, it was a good...
Yeah, they're all
good lineup, wasn't it?
Pure bangers. It's absolutely spot on. Like, yeah, granted, maybe they could have got a bit more obscure with it, but every game on there is like a fucking all timer, pretty much.
It's going to get hacked anyway, isn't it?
And Star Fox 2, and yeah, it's probably going to get hacked anyway. Yeah, and you know the actual finished version of Star Fox 2, which that's involved actual work.
I haven't really read into Star Fox 2 things. So it was announced, but it never came out. But it was finished enough.
It was announced, but never came out.
Yeah, it was finished.
Why? What's the story behind that?
So basically, on the internet, there's multiple versions floating around. So there's a Japanese version which is finished, but still includes debug menus and stuff. And then there's a US version which is unfinished, but then there's also a fan translation of the Japanese version, right? So you can basically play a finished version of it. However, apparently this version on the SNES Mini includes things that weren't in that finished Japanese version. So cool. Quite.
Sean, what Mario platformers are in it?
Off the top of my head, I know Mario
World is on it.
Mario World's there. Yoshi's Island is there. So you've got the two best ones.
It's kind of a shame that they haven't put All Stars on there.
That would seem like the obvious choice, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it would have been nice to have had that, because that was. But wasn't that just a European thing?
Mario All Stars.
Was that out in America?
No,
Not sure.
It came out. No, it definitely came out in America as well.
Oh, right, okay,
the All Stars SNES pack was the one I desperately wanted when I was younger. So obviously I had Mega Drive some stuff, but I kept seeing that, and it looks so good. But yeah, so I'm interested in getting a mini SNES just because I've never owned one before.
Good stuff. Next question.
Oscar Lily says, since the Telling Farley cast, have you come up with any great lies you wish you told? Any regrets overall?
I totally regret the Vegas thing.
Yeah, it's so obvious.
Yeah, it was. I could have played it a lot better. I should have said it was just DLC or something, but then I thought that wouldn't be interesting enough for Farley to even comment on, let alone. But I didn't really regret it. I gave it a shot and it didn't work out. That was that. That was the one thing that Farley can be proud of from that episode. He sussed me out on that one. Matt, you wanted more lies, right?
Yeah, I wanted to fill the thing with so many lies that you couldn't work out which was real and which wasn't real. But
I was surprised there wasn't more. I mean,
yeah.
One of the reasons it worked is because there wasn't that many. Because I was convinced most of it was lies.
That's the good thing about James this year, is that he would. I knew that he'd think a lot of the stuff we were saying was bullshit. And I mean, there was even stuff in there that I thought he was going to, point out and go, no, that's bollocks, but he didn't. It was weird. It was just, I didn't think we needed to lie that much for James.
It was definitely better that we didn't. But then even when James was saying, oh, there's no way the zombies were hanging up, like even questioning that stuff.
Still ridiculous.
Yeah, it's true.
But, yeah.
But another thing you mentioned, or I mentioned on the show last week, and you didn't believe it, is the fact you have to log in via Xbox Live on your Switch to play Minecraft, and that is the thing you have to do.
Yeah. That amazed me, to be honest. I mean, it's
well, you said it via Rocket League,
yeah,
right?
Well, I think I might have mentioned it, but mentioned the fact that it was through Minecraft. But either way, yeah, you have to log in with Xbox Live or with your Xbox Live account. Sorry.
See, that's another thing as well. Like with Rocket League, I've only just thought of this. With Rocket League, am I going to have to buy Nintendo's thing to play that online?
Definitely.
Yeah.
I guess
absolutely.
I am.
It's about 20 quid, isn't it?
But then will you need Nintendo's online service to play Minecraft?
Don't know.
If you're logging in via Xbox Live?
Yeah.
Not been clear, has it? I would assume you do.
Yeah, because then they're not going to make you buy Xbox Live Gold. That would be insane.
That would be insane.
Yes, I imagine you would, yeah.
Weird. All right, okay.
Is
that it?
James?
All right, Sean Thomas says, at which point do I let my grubby-handed, clumsy, Nintendo-loving daughter know that I own a Switch?
When she's 18.
Yeah.
I'll be honest, right? Harry uses my Switch all the time, and it's been totally fine.
Yeah, same here.
Like, I've not.
Is he generally careful? Luigi's head aside.
I'll be honest with you. I'm extremely lucky with that.
Yeah.
Like with things like controllers and remotes and the TV. Like he's never like just bashed the TV or anything like that. He seems to know that I will go fucking mental.
Yeah.
If he did, I think he threw a pad once, and I, let him know that that's not the right thing to do, and he's never done it since. So I think I've been very fortunate in that.
Yeah.
That sort of side of things.
See, for me, Rachel's been okay, but the boy, I can't let him near that
boy
stuff now.
Doesn't even have a fucking name.
No, because the trouble is like the amiibos that we had, he's wrecked all of them. Like they've all like Link had his head come off.
I'm so sorry.
Mario's arms has come. Both the arms came off at some point.
How do you even do that? Is he just intentionally just smashing them apart?
Because like they are like sort of a little bit twisty, and then he just keeps doing it until they just twist off. And and then he trod on Princess Peach the other day. That was.
Have you ever been genuinely gutted with him breaking stuff? Like not on a oh my god that's expensive, but on a genuine emotional level.
No,
like he's broken something that you just thought, oh mate, I'm actually disappointed. Like not even anger, I'm just really upset with you.
Yeah,
actually, sure that was Rachel deleting your Animal Crossing save.
That genuinely upset me when she did that. That was kind of annoying, but there's not really much you can kind of do about it. I think when Asher broke some headphones that I had the other day, and that annoyed me. But there's not much you can do, is there? Because it's happened, and he didn't mean to do it. It's accidental.
Is it like
the thing?
Does it get upsetting on the level of like I'm sort of trying to put myself in the situation. It's like it's obviously it's not just that like I had a thing and now I don't because my child has broken it. But is it like worry that your kid just doesn't even understand the value of things? And like he's surrounded by tech shit, and he's like, oh, even fucking cares, and he's got no concept of how long it took you to earn the money to buy it, or he's,
I mean, for every expensive bit of your tech he breaks, there are thousands of other things he'll break.
Yeah.
Like, it's just that's just happened. It's like the one what I'm referring to, James, right, is that we had this book that Joe's mum bought him a long time ago called "When I Grow Up, I'm Going to Play for England," right? And it's a story about it's like a football story, and at the end it's got like, his picture on it, like it's whatever. It's this book that we used to read all the time. He loved it, right? And one day I read it to him, and what he likes to do is you read him a story, then you give him the book, and he reads it like on his own, just looks at the pictures, and then falls asleep, right? So one night, as usual, read him the story. I gave him the book. I walked out. Went to check that he was asleep. He was asleep, so I went to take the book out from his bed, and he'd torn it to pieces. Like he'd just ripped it to pieces. Yeah. And I come back into the front room and I genuinely had a lump in my throat. And I just thought, you know what, that is something... and obviously he isn't putting the same feelings into it that I am, but that was something that we really enjoyed doing every night, and he's gone and ripped it. And I genuinely really had the hump with him. And the next morning I marched him into the front room and left the book on the floor, ripped to pieces. And I went, well, why is that like that? And he just knew instantly that he was like, And I felt bad, but at the same time, man, I was fucking emotionally gutted about that. We just bought him a new one, but like, it's still, it's just,
he's
really
probably just thinking, England never perform at tournaments. What's the point anymore?
That's a good point. All right. Anything else?
Okay, Buskalili says, has Monster Hunter World done enough so far to convince the non-Sean members of the podcast to get involved?
I mean, I'm interested in Monster Hunter, but after that run, I'm not sure. That run animation's so bad, baby.
It's a joke.
Yeah, but isn't that
on purpose?
Part of the charm, isn't it? Even I knew that. No, I'm not interested in Monster Hunter. There was a stage about a few years ago when the one came out on 3DS that I was thinking, actually, I think maybe I should give this a shot. But then that blew over pretty quickly. Yeah. I can't see myself getting it. I'm starting to get a point in my life now where I'm trying to chill out on trying things that I haven't tried before. So that's bad. I know that's bad. But I'm getting to the point now where I'm just going, do you know what? Shooters and sport games, they're pretty good. I like the occasional puzzle and the occasional platformer. But I just... things like Monster Hunter, I'm not even going to try.
But then you're missing out on things like Mass Effect, which you wouldn't have played.
Yeah, I know, but I mean, what this ended for me last year when Final Fantasy come out, and there was genuinely a huge part of me saying, I should really give this a go. This looks like I could like it.
No, you would have hated it. I think.
Yeah, and I know that I would have hated it. I was just caught up in the buzz, and maybe it's time to just go, you know what, I likes what I like, and I'm going to stick to it.
And we're at a point where, even if you're just like, look, I like shooters, there's enough breadth and variation within most genres now that, you don't have to branch out much, and you can still get a varied set of experiences. Okay, you like shooters, so you can play Call of Duty, and you can play Doom and Splatoon and Wolfenstein, and do you know what I mean? There's loads there within each thing. So
yeah, and I mean, I think you're a better person if you want to branch out, but I don't think I'm a better person anymore. Also, I'm saying that, but I have spent most of the day playing that fidget spinner game. What is it called?
Spins.io.
Go to spins.io and play that.
No.
It is one of the. It's. Have you even heard of this, James?
Is it a mobile game?
No, it's a browser game.
Okay.
You play as a fidget spinner, and you're put into this huge area, like this huge space with 100 other people. It's like It's like a multiplayer game. And the idea, it's like being a Tory, the game. Because it's all about the more power you got, the more powerful... How do you say it? If you're powerful, you get more and more powerful, and you can bully the people that are less powerful. And it's hard to explain. You just control a fidget spinner around this space, and you collect points by picking up these little dots scattered about everywhere. The more points you got, the more power you've got to take down people with less points. So if you've got 100 points and someone's on 25 points, you could just knock them out of the game and steal all their points. So a lot of the game is spent just avoiding people more powerful than you. Today, I got to second place out of 100 people, and I was just bossing around the place, killing people left, right, and centre, completely just ending their game because I could.
This sounds like
it's fucking brilliant. It's brilliant. I've loved it. It should definitely give it a go. It starts off. I mean, there'll be a lot of people going, "Oh, look how shit this is! I can't believe people are playing this." Play it yourself. You get addicted to it in no time.
Speaking of fidget spinners, a few weeks ago, Dave said, "Oh, fidget spinners. I'm sure it's sort of shit you're into, Matt." And I was like, "No, I'm not really bothered." And then for most of the holiday at Skegness, he was obsessed with getting a fidget spinner. He put in countless amount of money on his crane machines because there's a fidget spinner inside it. Every single day, fidget spinner. Eventually he said, I bought one for Harry. Harry didn't get one look at it. But it was quite fun, wasn't it, Dave?
You're just infectious, Matt. You when you bang on and on about things and hey, cool dudes, and the way you are, you're trying to be down with the kids and that. Eventually, when I'm in a sort of in an isolated situation with you, some of that rubs off, and that rubbing off was fidget spinners that weekend. So, I don't know why that week I was obsessed with them. I really wanted one.
While you were there, were you both skateboarding around with your fidget spinners at the same time?
I didn't get a fidget spinner that week.
You got one when you got home?
Yeah, I bought one since. They just...
Yeah.
No, did not bring my skateboard, baby. No sick ramps, James.
Yeah, okay.
Just move... Just on the thing, I just got a semi-related discussion. That's about Destiny. So Destiny 2, the beta or whatever is out in the next... It's 3 weeks or so now. It's under a month.
Oh, shit.
I'm not sure how excited I am about it. Part of me, I played the first one loads and it consumed my life. I didn't play anything else. And it's, you've got to really feel like you really got to commit to that game. And I'm not sure I'm willing to fully commit to it. And
that's the exact problem I have with these games.
Are you super psyched, Sean?
I am looking forward to once again having a game where I can just turn it on and probably some of my mates are around.
Yeah,
and
that's definitely nice.
It's strange in that is almost what Destiny is more than an actual video game at this point. It's like it was just this
social
cool
aspect.
place where I just got to actually chat to my mates on a regular basis.
Yeah.
Someone clip what Matt has just said and play it,
Play it in
back
September.
the week before Destiny 2 comes out, because Matt is going to lose his shit when that game's out, and he'll be on it. He'll be talking about spreadsheets within 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're going to be all over it.
I know,
Matt.
but I'm
you know
just,
it.
it's quite a commitment, isn't it? And I've played the first one, but I don't know. I mean, I
suppose the trick is like, don't see it as a commitment. See it as something that, like, if you're not hammering it, it will last you 6 months on and off. You know, like
yeah. But that's one of those games where I like. I listen to like Midnight, your show Midnight Resistance, and like hear about Owen talk about, getting one of these things. I'm like, oh fuck, that does sound good. I want to get a gun with a higher number. Yeah, I don't know. But right now I'm not. I feel like that pre-E3 thing was cool, but then there's zero hype at E3, and then now I'm just. I don't know. I'm just feeling nothing for it. But
I think, like, looking at something like Anthem, right? And who knows what it'll actually look like when it comes out, and we don't really know much about how it plays. But seeing that and then remembering, like, oh, I can go back to Destiny soon, and it'll be the same, like as it always was. I know what you mean. Like, it's perhaps a little bit underwhelming, but we're not going to know until we've played it.
no.
So.
Being completely transparent here, I usually get invited to the Destiny launch parties, right? And the last Destiny launch party I got invited to, I got a +1, right? And if I get one this time, I don't even know if I get invited, but if I do and I get a +1, probably going to take James, and I can't wait to see what James is like in that sort of situation.
Dave, I mean. You have asked me if I wanted to go.
Yeah, and you said you couldn't because you live in Leeds.
I don't think I said that, did I? Let me just get the Ev.
I would be very uncomfortable, almost certainly. In that
That's what's going to be so good. I mean, Instagram story is going to be off the chart. You're going to work for that invite, James.
Unbelievable.
Mm.
No, it's cool. It's fine. I'm not really bothered. I'll probably go with someone else. Next question.
Okay, Buscaloo says, does cross-platform play interest you much? Are Sony being shrewd or arrogant by refusing to play ball?
I just see it as a brilliant, brilliant thing. And Sony, I don't think it's arrogance. I just think, like, I will never fully understand what they're saying. And there's people saying, the stock answer to that is, well, they're in the lead. They don't need to do it.
Yeah.
No, they don't need to do it, but it's just like, what's stopping them doing it? What's being in the lead got to do with anything? It just makes it's just.
I think they're just in a position where they don't have to, and you know what these people are like. They feel it dilutes the brand or whatever.
But that's bollocks.
No, I know.
That's the total bollocks. It's just, it makes no sense, and it feels, especially with Destiny, it winds me up because it just feels like. Just let me play with my Xbox mates and my PlayStation mates with the same character. What is it to you? Why is that a problem?
Yeah, for sure.
Just honestly,
I mean, the lack
my
of it,
Xbox friends that play Destiny are not going to buy a PlayStation 4 just to play Destiny with me on that. Yeah. It's just so stupid. It just winds me up because it just don't need to be done. Like, there's just no need for this at all. Yeah,
and like it doesn't happen often, but like when Tights 2 came out or Destiny or whatever, and then like so you guys get it, and I'm like, oh brilliant, are we playing tonight? And they're like, no, we got it on Xbox. It's just like, oh fuck's sake.
Yeah, I had to double dip on that, and I had no problem with that. But it's just there's why can't, it just fucks me off.
I mean, it'd be interesting as well because we've said before, like when normal people ask you what console they should get, and it's always the answer is always what have your mates got. Like beyond that, who really cares?
Well, yeah, but I think we're kind of talking about two different things, because I would understand why they wouldn't want people to share friends lists over multiple platforms, and why party chats wouldn't work over multiple
sure. Like, you can understand like limited functionality.
Yeah. But my point is that, things like my saves working with online-based games like Rocket League, like Destiny, like even Titanfall, when it comes to the online multiplayer, my stats and stuff just across between the two platforms would be enough. I don't mind double dipping on a game if it means that I have to play, like I get to play with my mates through parties and stuff like that. But to not be able to drag all my stats over is just annoying more than anything. And I think, and it is Sony that's stopping that from happening, because Microsoft have openly said they want that to happen. It's just shit.
Yeah, I'm not too fussed about, great, I can play against PlayStation owners or Xbox owners, but it's when you saw that Minecraft thing, it's like, this is amazing. Everyone can play on any platform. I can play, on this multiplayer server on my PlayStation at home or my Switch on the move. But because Sony aren't involved in that, it's just, it makes you think, well, maybe I shouldn't be buying these games on PlayStation platforms if there's no chance of those extra sort of multiplayer aspects. But I don't know, it doesn't bother me too much. It's just a little bit annoying, as Dave said.
Yeah, so the whole, well, Sony don't need to there on top. It's like, yeah, but how about they just got on board with it, and then it's no longer a bargaining chip for the other, for their competitors. Like, it's no longer a thing that can be used against them. Like, so because like at the moment, Microsoft seem like the good guys because they've done backwards compatibility. They're up for doing cross-platform stuff, and Sony just look like stubborn arseholes.
Yeah, same with EA Access. Just let people have EA Access on PlayStation.
It's like
what is your fucking
it's
beef?
like if you are on top and you are loaded, then why not use that to just absolutely make sure you stay there by doing gestures of goodwill that ultimately do pay off. It's not like Microsoft have chosen to do backwards compatibility or whatever and thought, well, we're going to lose money, but it's a bit of goodwill. Like, that goodwill it is something you can bank on eventually. It's something that will make you money. And it's
James always says that this isn't the first time that Sony have just been in the lead and showed their arrogance to this stuff, is it? James is asleep, I think.
Yeah,
no, I'm not asleep. Just
Just wish you were.
Just playing Switch.
Yeah.
All the fills there.
Logo.
That's it. That's the last one.
Well, thanks for listening. Next week we will be back to our usual show, and hopefully on our usual day of releasing on a Wednesday. We look forward to getting back into the swing of things after our E3 shows. Thanks for everyone that's been in contact over the past few days, and thanks to everyone that's shared our content over the past couple of weeks. It's been really, really appreciated. Seeing as we've mentioned content, Matt.
Yeah, let's go. You can follow the show on Twitter. I mean, honestly, it feels like half the show is on Twitter and half the show is a podcast. So if you're not following us on Twitter, do it.
It's a multimedia experience, mate.
That is total bollocks.
I well, no, I we've been like tweeting so much and doing stuff since around E3 so much that it feels like we've barely recorded because we went away and had a break, and this one's a day late. It just feels like we've done more stuff for the show on Twitter than we have for the actual podcast itself.
Did you see that slip then? I've done more for the show. Matt, you've been tweeting memes, and I'm pretty sure we're on mute from a lot of people because it's got a bit too much.
Them.
There's not half of the show is the podcast, half of the show is you on Twitter. That is not the case.
You're missing out if you're not following us on Twitter. That's all I'm saying. Right.
I don't think you are.
I think you definitely are.
Follow you. Don't worry about that.
We're also on Facebook. But fuck that. We're also on Discord. So now we've got we've got loads of people in the Discord. Actually, what we do is we post a link to the podcast.
Don't do that.
What?
Don't say that.
Okay.
Are you going to say that?
I was going to say that.
Right, okay. So here's the thing. We initially said, what would be really cool? For the people that join Discord, we'll put the show up just like a day early into the Discord chat. Because what happens is that I upload it to our podcast host, and Spong publish it the next day. So I said, wouldn't it be cool to just give them a little heads up? If they want to listen to it a day early, we could pop it in there. Nice little secret thing. Matt is now using that as some sort of way to get people to join Discord. That's not what the initial idea was, Matt. Stop. This is hard. This is my problem with you on social media. You're trying to tell people what to do all the time. Let people just crack on.
Yeah, they can crack on in the Discord at their own free will. With 200 brilliant other people.
This nice little reward for people that joined our Discord has now turned into an advertising. That's what this whole section
of the show's about.
It's a marketing tool. Absolute scum.
Anyway, get involved. There's a tweet on a pin to our top of our profile.
Cool. All right, and that's that. We will catch you next week. Thanks for listening. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Cheers.
All the feels there.
Oh, guys, the new State of Decay's got 4-player co-op.
No way.
Yeah.
Fuck off, Sean. Amazing.